and it's on you. I got guns in my hand and we won't shoot. Spirits in a, and we on you. I got guns in my hand and we won't shoot. Spirits in a, and I won't you. Yo, how we doing? We ain't about to play no games. I'm gonna get right into it. Oh wait, I gotta make sure that my desktop audio can actually play. Give me a second. Give me a segunda untapa. We go here real quick. And 15-second ad? Yeah, let's play that real quick.
You make it through security so fast?
Oh yeah.
The agents applaud.
Alright. I have to put on my headphones, is I think. OBS. Desktop. Headphones. Alright. Now you goobers should be able to hear. Let's check that out. Nope, you guys aren't hearing because I gotta switch it back to desktop. There we go. Beautiful.
No.
Alright, we gonna get to that because that's gonna be funny pretty soon. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Let me check this out real quick. Because there's been too much yap about this fraud of a swordsman. And I'm not going to stand for it. You as Bleach fans shouldn't stand for it. You as Naruto fans shouldn't even stand for it. Alright? We going to handle this right. Give me a second. Let me find the screen real quick. I can turn this off. Turn off Bluetooth. I will be putting my glasses on. Let me do that now, actually. So I don't get cancer and shit like that. Okay. We're going to get right into it. Because I want to work on my presentation tonight. So we will be getting right into this. Word on the street is, word around town, let me see if I can find it, is that Sasuke is a better swordsman. That's the word around town. That's what they're saying. Who kicked off this lie? Who started spreading this misinformation? Couldn't tell you. Don't know where it came from. But we gonna handle it right. I apologize for the delay, by the way, too. I was getting everything set up. That's why we started a little late. But we're going to get right into it. Before I do start, let me address the chat. We got Kino in the building. Shout out to Kino. What's good with you, bro? It's nice to be home, but dang it. The internet is off and I'm using my okay at best data. That's terrible. Oh, yeah, nah. I hate that shit, bro. Okay, Sasuke doesn't have as much skill in swordplay, but Ichigo also only has a week of real training and more experience with fighting real swordsmen. Yes, he does, Dr. Strangle. We got Ill in the chat. What's good, Ill? Hey, Ab-Stract. What's good, Brody? We got Kribo. Hi. It's doing great. It's going great. Don't forget your glasses. Appreciate you, bro. What's the best way to download YouTube streams? What's the best way to download YouTube streams? That's a good question. That is a good question. I don't know, bro. I feel like you'd have to... Actually, no, I really don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't want to make anything up either. I don't think I have an answer to that. Sasuke simply outskills Ichigo. We'll see. Sasuke is a better hand-to-hand fighter than sword. Facts! He's a better hand-to-hand fighter than a swordsman. He's better at using ninjutsu than swords. He's better at using genjutsu than his own swords. We're going to get into it, though, because we're going to go over all these things. Ichigo only uses a sword. I was watching this debate thread as well. Sasuke is more skilled all around. We'll find out. Zoro is a better swordsman than Sasuke because he can cut fire to the point where he could cause pain to a fire elemental. That's hilarious. And here's the thing about that, right? Yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. All right, I'm seeing my thing move, so we should be good now. We should be good now. Thank you, Tay.
Yep. Keep talking shit on Sasuke.
Come on, bro. All right, about to clown this goofy, bro. Fuck you talking about, bro? I'm about to clown this boy, yo. I'm about to get it, boy. All right, I'm out of here, B. All right. All right, thank you guys for telling me I'm muted. We should be good. We back up? I bet. Let's get it. Cool. We good. Okay, so first off, whoever kicked this conversation off intentionally tried to paint a narrative that Bleach sword fights boil down to, oh my gosh, big energy attack. Oh my gosh, he's a stat merchant. Oh my god, right? That's what they tried to boil it down to, right? And we can see from my first response, and this isn't one of the days where I'm going to go over the entire X or Twitter response. I'm not doing that tonight. I just wanted to set the record straight, right? So his comment is, Bleach only boils down to who has bigger energy and speed, while in Naruto the actual sword technique matters and wins the sword fight. Okay, cool. So Ichigo spends the first half of the series defeating swordsmen on his level of power or stronger. Ikkaku, Renji, Kenpachi, Byakuya, Zangetsu. The first real swordsman that Sasuke ever encounters, he gets his ass whooped so bad, he opts not to use his sword. Sasuke is a theatrical swordsman. We got Yonin in the chat. What's good, bro? So, we're going to do some light reading tonight. Only pointing out the important stuff. We'll start with Ichigo since he has a more fuller list, and then we'll work our way down to Sasuke, right? Because I don't know what everyone looks for when this conversation is being had, right? Okay, who's the better swordsman? Well, the question is, what aspects are we talking about? What are we going to hone in on? Some people like technique. Some people like the style. Some people like the theatrics. I like practicality. I like getting the job done. I like seeing results. That's what I like. So when we go through these instances of sword fights, let's just see. As y'all can see, I already had this shit up. Like I said, I was taking some time to prepare this shit. So yeah, they'll argue that Bleach is mainly power and energy attacks and all these other things. But we'll ignore that Sasuke, for the most part, is a theatrical fighter. He's a performance fighter. Let me find my notes real quick. Okay. Ichigo's first real fight, chapter 86. So let's do this together. Chapter 86. Okay. They crash down in the Serete. Ikkaku is doing his dance of luck. Cool. I just have to beat you. That's how I see it. I see. You're the fool. Ikkaku goes for an attack. Ichigo dodges. He dodged it. Nice moves. Ichigo goes for his attack. Ikkaku blocks with his scabbard. Mind you, this is the first time Ichigo is fighting not only... I don't want to call Ikkaku a dual wielder per se, but he is using two objects to fight. He's using his scabbard and his sword, right? So he blocks with the scabbard. Then he goes for an attack. Ichigo jumps onto the damn scabbard, using it as a springboard to dodge Ikkaku's attack. As he's doing his twist in the air, Ikkaku goes for a thrust. Ichigo goes for a slash. Mutual attack. They're both bleeding. Very nice. Very good. Right? Cool. Let's keep going. Okay. Ichigo stops to wipe his blood from his eye. I don't understand. At this range, only a ranked novice would take a hand from his hilt. Interesting thing. Ichigo is a ranked novice at this point. So he's making rookie mistakes. Hey, shut up. I can't fight with blood in my eyes. I had to do something about it. Even shallow wounds can bleed profusely. All this other stuff. Right. Cool. Now, hey, That stuff stops the bleeding. That's not fair. Yeah, you should be applying my professional. Cool. He says, you're a strange one. You behave like a novice. I'm sorry, but you just don't look like a warrior. And yet your reactions are first rate. Your swing is powerful, and as for your movements, they're not far from my own level. This is Ikkaku off of his first couple interactions with Ichigo. We know Ikkaku's body. We do. Third seat of the Zaraki squad. The most talented squad when it comes to fighting. He fought Kenpachi Zaraki in his past and survived to tell about it. Ikkaku also trained Renji, or did we forget that? Yes, he did. So, Ichigo, his first full month really being a Soul Reaper, because I'm not even going to count when he had Rukia's powers, because that wasn't his powers. So while he had Rukia's powers, sure, he was a Soul Reaper, but this is his powers. His first full month, he's already being complimented, and his skills are being sized by Ikkaku, a third seat. Yet your reactions are first rate, and your swing is powerful. They're not too far from my own level. Cool, let's get into it again. Ichigo tells Ikkaku who trained him, it's Kisuke. Cool, we ain't gonna play with you. Extend Hozuki Maru. Alright, cool. So as they're fighting, where does he tell him not to misjudge it? Was it there? Okay, well, he already tells him don't misjudge it, right? So Ichigo is keeping up with Ikkaku as far as the spear attacks versus his sword attacks. He blocks, extend Hozuki Maru. Ichigo uses his arm to block it from hitting his face. Cool. Ichigo steals enough power to cleave an entire building in half. Gotta get a calc on that, actually, now that I think about it. So let's keep going. Won't be able to hold your weapon, but what is this basis for your confidence? Ichigo blocks. Ikkaku keeps going. You're too slow. Now we see Ichigo actually blocks this with his hand. His hand gets hit here, not his face. Turn around, they clash. Ikkaku does another hit. Ichigo blocks again with his hand. What's wrong? Maybe you're all talk. Hozuki Maru's attacks are difficult to read. They can confound a novice like yourself. I don't think so. My eyes are already used to it. So after only being attacked twice by a weapon he just came in contact with, Ichigo is already adapting to the situation. He's showing improvement to the situation. Let's keep going. He breaks off Hozuki Maru. And then he's fast enough to cut down Ikkaku. Now, of course, we don't need to finish it because it's pretty much over after this. But just off of his first fight with someone on his skill level or higher, debatably, right? Actually, no. Ikkaku is higher skilled. Actually, no, I don't think he is. No, I don't know. I'm going to stick to what I was going to say. His first fight with someone on his skill level or higher, Ichigo got praise for his skills. He showed great adaptation. I had one more thing, but it left my mind at the very moment. Cool. So let's go to chapter 97. Skip over to 97. Ichigo versus Ikkaku. Okay, let's go here. So this is right before... This is right after Renji uses his Zabimaru to push Ichigo into all these buildings and stuff like that. Lunar Ursa just texted me something. I'm going to look at it later. I'm going to look at it in a minute, actually. Anyways, so yeah, these two are fighting. Renji is getting off on Ichigo, right? Again, this is someone on Ichigo's level or stronger, because we're talking about swordsmanship here. So yeah, he goes for a slice with Zabimaru. Cool. They're talking. I know. I want to save her. All this other things. He deflects his blade. You scum. That's it. It can only do 3 consecutive attacks. So, from the 10 days he was sparring with Kisuke, Kisuke taught him that attacks that have heavy power... let me let Kisuke talk. The more powerful the attack, the fewer times it can be employed in succession. A revolver fires 6 times, a missile only once. The number of consecutive attacks is always predetermined. Ichigo is using the knowledge that he was taught during his training in actual combat, not just theory. Right? So we're getting a look into how he approaches fighting other swords and with his own damn sword. So 1, 2, he dodges, and that's 3. Your enemy will be defenseless. It's over, Renji. Slice. I told you, you have no chance of defeating me. He gets sliced. Now, what does Renji have to say about this? He dodged it. How? You're wondering how I evaded it. It's good to strike between several attacks. Your aiming was perfect. So why didn't you kill me? The answer is very simple. You're too slow. So, when it comes to people on his level or higher, Ichigo shows adaptation. He shows attention to timing. He shows great attention to detail. He implements the things he actually trains about and learns. Cool. Let's go to chapter 109. I'm building a case here. Chapter 109. Ichigo versus Kenpachi, right? He's first able to cut him. Kenpachi slashes. Cool, they've been fighting for a little bit. Kenny grabs the man's damn sword. Twist it as he grabs him. Goes for a thrust. Ichigo dodges the thrust and kicks Kenpachi's hand away to get himself free. Do y'all watch Kengan Ashura? I know Tay watches Kengan Ashura. Does anyone in here watch Kengan Ashura? Does the word inner tactics sound familiar to you? Do we know what inner tactics are when fighting? You can't teach this. What he's doing right here, you can't teach this. What he did to Ikkaku jumping off the scabbard, you can't teach this. Inner tactics. Right? Cool. And he utilizes his block perfectly with a big blade. Was there anything else for Kenpachi? So, he's shown to be a fast thinker. And I believe Kenpachi praises his reaction here somewhere. Where did he say? Oh, yeah, good. Your reactions are excellent. Your reactions are excellent. So, he's talking about his battle movements from moment to moment. Not his speed necessarily, no. Just the things he's doing while fighting. Your reactions are excellent. So, when you block like this, and when you do things like that, kick my arm, my wrist to make me let go of your sword, your reactions are excellent. He's doing the right things. You cannot teach this. Where we at? Where is Zangetsu? Did I put that in here? 127 to 129. $127 is where it first starts. Let's first acknowledge Shinigami just asked me when's the next stream. Brody, we live right now. Okay. So let's first acknowledge that during this training, Ichigo has to use a variety of swords he's never used. Like, look it over here. Look over here. We have a goddamn like a sickle moon sword over here. We have, what the hell is even this? A weird Z-shaped sword. I don't know. He has to use varying and different types of swords versing Zangetsu. Mind you, Zangetsu is stronger than Ichigo. Zangetsu has always been stronger than Ichigo, which we're going to see. And to learn Bankai, he actually has to cut him down. So he has to actually beat Zangetsu. He actually has to beat Zangetsu. Alright. So we can skip all this. Alright, cool. So his swords are breaking. He has to get a new one. He thinks that's his actual Zangetsu. Yada, yada, yada. It shatters immediately. Oh, mind you, Zangetsu shatters this sword with his bare hand too. That's a whole nother thing. Anyways, slices Ichigo across the side. Oh yeah, next chapter. Cool. We then get another defining moment coming up right here. So we see another of his blades is broken. Yoruichi notes, so he's holding his stance even after his sword is broken. That's 51. So Ichigo has fought with 51 different blades consecutively. And is doing, by all means, all right. Okay. Zangetsu goes for a slash. Ichigo blocks. But as he's blocking, he parries just enough to where the sword glides across his own sword, making Zangetsu misjudge how much force is actually being applied. And he goes for it like, look at this. Zangetsu is fully open right now. He's fully open. Because when Ichigo blocked, it wasn't like a standard block. And Yoruichi breaks it down. And I know I'm preaching to the choir right now. I know you guys already know this, but I have to actually say this shit. So, Zangetsu he's surprised, number one. Hold up. Can't zoom in. Okay, yeah. Clearly surprised, left completely wide open. Ichigo goes for his thrust. Zangetsu dodges. Ichigo splits this boulder in half too. And then he's just a stronger sword. Anyways, Zangetsu dodges, throws his sword down, shattering Ichigo's, and then he smacks him away. Tells him to never take your eyes off the enemy. That's 52. Almost had him. Now, Yoruichi's assessment of this. At the moment of contact, he deflected the attack by matching the speed of his sword with his opponent's. Then, he instantly went on the offensive. He's come a long way. Before he was relying on Zangetsu's strength, but he's now learning at a frightening pace and at a frightening level. So, anyone saying that, oh, it's just energy attacks and the swords. No. This is literally Ichigo's inner tactics, his instincts, his intuition. This is how he fights with a sword. Let's go again. What else we got? Chapter 450. I'm building a case here. Chapter 450. Where are we at? 450. Ichigo versus Ginjo. He closed in on me to negate my range. It's the little shit that counts, bro. What are we talking about? He closed in on me to negate my range. Listen, when it comes to people that are on his level or higher, Ichigo shows great adaptation. He shows attention to detail. He shows attention to range, positioning, timing. He's shown to be extremely adaptable. What are we really talking about? What are we really talking about here? Excuse me. All right. Was there anything else? No, I think that's all I had for Ichigo so far. And mind you, this was a rush job. I literally got home and just thought, all right, bet. Off the top of my dome, what can I find? There's probably some other things I could probably point out in maybe the Ukiyo-e battle or the Grimmjow battle. Actually, both of those would really be good because during the well, no, I'm not gonna talk about it. But yeah. So let's go to our boy Sasuke. Sasuke starts, from what I understand, Sasuke's first real sword fight, like his real, like I'm only counting big people. I'm not really trying to count fodders. We'll get there, but I'm not really trying to count all that. 477 is when Sasuke has his first showing with the sword, kind of, right? Wait. No. 385. Why did I say that? 350 something. 356. Is that when Deidara comes? Okay, yeah. This is when he gets approached by Deidara. Cool. Yeah, Deidara tries to sneak him with a bomb. Sasuke escapes it, basically. I'm sorry, yeah, he dodges. He uses a snake. Cool. Now, let's look at what Sasuke got. So, he dashes over to Obito and Deidara. Grabs his sword as he's running. Goes for a slash at Obito and Deidara. Deidara dodges. Obito stays there. Now, one thing we're going to continue to see is Sasuke's reverse grip style. I didn't do any research into reverse grips or anything like that. Just off like the top of my head, though, it would seem very impractical to use. Like in Star Wars, sure, if you're dual wielding, like Star Killer and Ahsoka, they make it work because she usually either has one straight, then one, or both of them. But it works kind of in Star Wars. Also, different weapons. They're sabers and not actual swords. Like they might call them swords, but they're not like metal swords. It's a little different. With Sasuke, though, a reverse grip style, and we're going to see this in his, like, some of his fights. This gets him in trouble a lot. So, he uses his sword that one time as the, like, you know, his initial assault. He uses the sword. The next time he uses a sword in this fight is, I'm pretty sure, 380, 350. Is it this one? Yeah, it should just be this chapter. This is the last time he actually like uses the sword in the fight. Now, I'm not going to go over the entire fight. We'll go to the point where he's no longer using the sword. Cool. He's still holding the sword. Transformed to Curse Mark Stage 2. Cool. Deidara is using big ass bombs on him. Nice. All right. His sword gets launched or thrown into the ground. So, aside from his initial attack, he's so far only used his sword as a springboard to get higher because it got his wing blown off. And it does help him. So that's something. It does help him. And there's no need to continue this fight because he doesn't use the sword anytime after that. Cool. Chapter 387. What are we talking about? Chapter 387. So what did Sasuke show in that fight? He showed creativity with his sword. You know, he used it as, I don't even want to say a diversion. He used it to confirm information, details, deductions. Because now he knows that if I have lightning style inside my body or my weapons, that his detonating clay will not go off. Because lightning style trumps earth style. Cool. But that's not swordsmanship. That's not swordsmanship. That's ninja tactics. That's not swordsmanship. It can kind of blend, but no, we're looking for how you are as a sword fighter. Your skills as a sword fighter, not your ninja tactics. Okay, let's go here real quick. I really want to tackle this shit right here because this is funny to me. This is hilarious to me. So let's get into this real quick. Dry dice, okay. Pain. Wait a minute. Let me make sure. Okay, I think it was that one actually. Cool. Itachi's in Shuriken. Sasuke grabs his sword. Right? He blocks with his sword. He blocks the kunai with his sword. Cool. All right. He goes for a kick. He kicks Sasuke in the face. There we go with that reverse grip again. There we go with that reverse grip again. I don't... Now, like, how... Like, what I'm trying to figure out for Sasuke is, what utility does the reverse grip give you that is over just holding it like a normal sword? What utility does it actually give you? That's what I'm trying to figure out for him right now. Can't figure it out. Itachi easily evades, grabs Sasuke by the collar, roughs him up, throws him. Now, people said Ichigo... No, I'll wait. I'll wait. He does Chidori Scream. Itachi jumps, stabs him. Got him good, didn't he? Yep. Nope. Genjutsu. Okay, damn. Oh, got you from the back. My sword is being useful because I stabbed you in the back. My sword is being useful right now. Nope. Genjutsu. Again. Yet another Genjutsu. Where is it? Ah, right here. Genjutsu. Because there's another Itachi. Okay. Cool. The two of them haven't budged at all for the longest time. They're exchanging Genjutsu. So, if you haven't caught on, Sasuke hasn't used his sword one time yet. Let's keep going. So they're yapping. They're talking about the Uchiha past. They're talking about what Madara could have been and all this other stuff. Cool. Itachi is still using Genjutsu. Got the boy in the Tsukuyomi. He breaks out, kind of. Not really. I finally arrive. He thinks so, right? So the Shuriken Fest starts. He grabs his sword again. Now look at this. Look at this real quick. I'm trying to zoom in. Do we understand that Itachi can't do this move if Sasuke has his sword straight up? This is I really cannot find the utility in holding your damn blade like this. All you're doing is shortening your own reach. All you're doing is making it easier for your enemy to get to you. Hey, Sasuke, you're supposed to have the pointy side towards them, buddy. Little buddy. You're supposed to have the pointy side towards them. So, Itachi easily counters this. Why wouldn't he? It's not a hard thing to counter. The sharp side's not towards him. Demon Windmill. With lightning style. He gets kicked in the chest. Punched in the gut. Just to find out. Find out what? Just to find out that all of this was still Genjutsu. So hold up. If you haven't noticed, Sasuke still hasn't used his sword in this fight. It's all been Genjutsu. Is he even a swordsman at this? Like, what do we... It's okay. It's okay. But the Genjutsu's over. You know, the regular Genjutsu's over. The finger Genjutsu's over. The Tsukuyomi's over. Will he use his sword now, maybe? Let's see. I mean, it's no longer Genjutsu, right? Let's take a look. So, what's the first thing Sasuke does? He summons a Shuriken. A real Shuriken this time. Not a Genjutsu Shuriken. He summons Shuriken. Throws it at Itachi. And he causes it to basically explode. And one hits Itachi in the leg. See, this would have been a perfect time to dash over to Itachi with your reverse grip sword and like stab him. That would have been a perfect time to do that. He goes for a fireball jutsu. Itachi dodges, uses his own fireball. All right, cool. We can skip the rest of this because I can... Spoiler alert. He doesn't use his sword until the end of the fight. So let's just skip to that. Let's just skip to that. He doesn't use his sword again until the end of the fight. Where we at? Susanoo's out. Cool. Look, even this fraud bum Orochimaru takes out his sword. Where he at? Where he at with it? Up there he is. Up there it is. There it is. Even he got his sword. Anyways. So, as his last ditch effort, he finally pulls out his sword. And of course it gets reflected by the Yata mirror. But there's that instance. So he didn't use his sword at all this fight. He used it against Deidara and Toby in the opening. Cool. Didn't use it at all against Itachi. Alright. Let's keep going. What's after the Itachi fight? Chapter 411. Sasuke versus Killer B. Alright, what we got? Show me something, Sasuke. Give me something. So he takes it out, jumps at B. B easily deflects, pushes Sasuke back with the weight of the Executioner's Blade. B goes for a slash to the side. Sasuke blocks. Now, I will give Sasuke points for this. This is probably the nicest thing he's ever done with a sword up until this point. But this is already 411 chapters into the story. My God. This is the nicest thing he's done with a sword so far. And it's 411 chapters in. Okay, cool. Anyways, he blocks. He's turned around, flips into the air, stabs his sword within the hole of the Executioner's Blade, stopping it, bringing it to a halt, and then launching a kick at B. Very nice. He gets points for that. That shows extreme precision. That shows attention to detail. It's good timing. Good score. Fair marks. Now, B takes out his swords. B makes the first move. Cling, 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 cling. B is literally a whirlwind right now. Going at Sasuke. Now, I'm not going to fault Sasuke for losing to B necessarily. But so far, he hasn't demonstrated anything that Ichigo has demonstrated. He hasn't beaten anyone on his level or higher with his blade. He's opted so far, as we've seen, not to use his blade when things get rough. But let's continue this fight to prove that statement real quick. So he gets stabbed and pierced. And what were the things they were saying about Ichigo? He's using his abilities too much. He uses energy blast too much. Well, guess what? When the going gets tough for Sasuke, he likes to cheat. Yeah, he likes to make his sword unblockable. He said, fuck the sword competition. Fuck my sword techniques. Let me use my lightning style jutsu to make my blade unblockable. But sorry there, little buddy. You're not the only one who knows that technique. You're not the only one that knows that how to stream your chakra. So this does nothing to B, of course. And he gets impaled by what? It's 7 swords, basically. Right? I only see 5, actually. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 6. Okay, 6. So B kept 2. So he gets impaled. Let's keep going. He gets impaled, and B's about to be on that ass. He needs to be saved by a team, an entire team, mind you, because Jugo comes in too. Now, get this. After he's healed by Karin, you know what Sasuke doesn't do? He doesn't pick up that sword again. After he is healed by Karin, he doesn't pick up that damn sword again. Guess But look, Suigetsu still got his sword. Even if he's a bum, and we're going to talk about you, Suigetsu. Yes, we are. Even if he's a bum, he didn't give up on his sword. Sasuke gave up on his sword. He thought the Chidori would be better. Cool. Jumps to Killer B. All right, where we at? Of course, B goes, Eight Tails jumps to Killer B. No sword in hand. He's completely given up on the blade. I'm not sure how we're saying Sasuke is better when he does not use his sword to fight when things get tough. He would rather use ninjutsu, his own hands, or a kunai even, than his own blade when things get tough. His sword is an afterthought for him. And I don't even need to go past this because we know he doesn't we know he doesn't defeat B with his sword. Amaterasu, hacks, Sharingan Genjutsu, Chidori, everything but his blade. Cool. Let's move on. Chapter 460. Told you I'm building a case here. When we get to 460, I'm gonna stop and look at chat for a brief moment. 460. There we go. All right, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We got Lunar Ursa in the chat. We got Nick in the chat. We got Neo in the Matrix in the chat. We got JJ in the chat. What's good, y'all? I can't. Okay, my thing is moving too much. We got Ig in the chat. What's good, Ig? Sasuke is a hacks merchant. Reverse grip is impractical. Reverse grip has less power behind it and more for surprise attacks. Yeah. And I've seen people say online, oh, well, reverse grip, they're superhuman, so they can do it better. But you gotta understand that's a terrible argument because everyone's superhuman. So it doesn't really make it better. It doesn't make it better. It makes it better to who can scale to it, kind of. But if I'm a superhuman and you're a superhuman and you're using reverse grip and I'm using normal Kenpo style or Zanjutsu style, I still have the advantage in every way, shape, or form. My sword is longer. My reach is longer. I have better positioning. I don't have to get right up on your ass to hit you. I don't have to do any of those things. I can keep my distance and block and parry and all these other things. I don't know what the reverse grip does for him. I don't know who taught him that because Orochimaru certainly doesn't fight like that. So it even begs the question of who taught Sasuke swordsmanship. Did he invent this style himself? In fact, I got to look closer. Does Boruto fight like that? Does Boruto use a reverse grip? I don't think he does. This might be a Sasuke exclusive stupidity thing. All right. Karibo says reverse grip works. Reverse grip is a fantasy style and practical in IRL. It looks cool. We're going to get to that because Sasuke is theatrics and performance. He's not efficiency. He is theatrics and performance. He is not efficiency. All right, hold up. We got Shinigami calling real quick. I think he wants to talk about this reverse grip stuff real quick. Pause. I think. I don't know. There's always something pause-worthy to be said. Hold up, bro. I'm trying to join the call. All right. Hold up. Where is my... Yo. Yo.
All right.
Hey, Shinigami, real quick. Explain to these good people why reverse grip is a terrible decision. Go ahead.
All right. It'll be kind of difficult for me right now because, first of all, I'm kind of tired. But here's how it is. So, from like the structure of the blade, it's very proportionate for us to handle it normally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it includes from everything, your hand control, for example. Like, let's say that position Sasuke was in, if like I was holding, you remember when Itachi was holding on to Sasuke's hand with the sword?
Correct.
Then they were in that block. If I was holding it normally, then, I could maybe force my hand down and put in my force behind it.
There you go.
So reverse grip, I wouldn't have that. Literally, I'd have like a higher chance of like stabbing myself if anything. I have less reach with reverse grip. Try it yourself.
No, complete facts. Complete facts. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Sasuke treats his damn sword like he's fighting with a kunai. That's what he treats it like he's using a kunai for some reason. He
That's
like
the only time it's actually acceptable for you to use a reverse grip weapon.
I agree.
Is
Nice.
a dagger or like a kunai.
Yeah.
Those are the only time it's acceptable because at least you still have the reach and you can still protect yourself.
Facts.
And I'm not even like a sword expert. I actually just learned a lot about swords and I found out about a new form of grip called thumb grip.
There
It's
you go.
actually pretty cool from what I learned.
There
I
you
just
go.
research a lot.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
If you check Zales' Discord server just now, I sent you like a whole series of YouTube videos from a bunch of people who rose to reverse grip with a passion.
Got you. I check them out.
All right. I am still on here. Don't worry.
All right, my man.
Passionate right now.
Nah, hey, bro, I appreciate you. I'm gonna let you go though. I'm gonna get back to cooking this. We got a couple more things to go through with this Sasuke character. So,
All right.
all right, bro. There you go. There you go. Reverse grip is in fact impractical. Don't take it from me. Don't take it from me. I'm not a sword expert either. I just think, like, logically, why would you hold the sword like that? You can't get much utility out of it. It just doesn't make too much sense. But okay. This guy's supposed to be better than Ichigo, by the way. Has anyone heard anyone compliment Sasuke's swordsmanship? Anyways, let's go. Let's go. So, we'll notice here that the only people Sasuke can actually take down with his sword skills are people weaker than him. He bullies the weak. He preys on the defenseless. He targets those with less skill and proficiency. In fact, in this scenario, would Sasuke not be Ichigo? Would he not be the stronger, faster, more hack-styled, and more powerful fighter? He would be, actually, wouldn't he? So, hold up. His only win that we've verifiably seen so far is against people weaker than him. But Ichigo is the stat merchant. Ichigo is the hacks merchant. Ichigo is the energy merchant. Well, hold up again. Doesn't Sasuke use energy on his sword? Like, he directly uses Chidori, he directly uses lightning style on his sword to make it unblockable and increase its AP. But we want to talk about Ichigo. This be that disingenuous shit that I be talking about. If you ever notice with me, guys, I don't argue arguments that I already, like, for example, I'll give you guys a great example. You'll never hear me claim that Bleach has more or better DC feats than Naruto. You just won't hear me claim it. Why would I say that? Why would I say something so totally wrong? So, if you're a Naruto fan, don't think I'm just attacking Sasuke or the series. No. I'm only saying the shit that I know to be correct, true, and right. Like how I won't say Bleach has better DC feats. I'm not going to tell you that Sasuke is somehow a better swordsman than Ichigo. It doesn't make any sense to say. Anyway, he kills fodder samurai. Him and Jugo kill fodder samurai. Raikage comes in. Here we go again. Cool. He takes out his blade the last second, slices again with this reverse grip bullshit. Like, does Sasuke doesn't understand that if he were to be counterattacked during this moment, there's absolutely no room for him to dodge or do anything, right? The reverse grip style literally requires you to be on a person's ass. It's not the same as when Ichigo was closing the distance to Ginjo, though, either. That's not the same thing. Ichigo was preventing Ginjo from having wider swings and stuff, but Ginjo actually has the goddamn, I was about to say cross. He actually has the handle in the middle of his blade, though, to negate that. That's what it's literally there for. He actually explains it. This just makes no sense. He gets pushed back. Cool. Flash pillar. Cool. Dadori Raikage. Jugo Suigetsu. Block. Let's keep going. Because he uses his sword like one more time, I think, or something like that. Anyways. Suigetsu going high diff with Darui, or even with Darui. That's better than anything we. No, I'm playing. I'm not going to do that because in my eyes, Suigetsu really is a bum, and Darui just has no feats as a swordsman anyway. So there's no need to even bring them in this because we're talking about the boy Sasuke right now. Now, here we go. I think this is the first time we've seen him actually launch an attack and the sword is straight, like two-handed straight. Interesting thing about this, and this is more of a scaling point that I've like picked up on or that I've noticed but never really talked about. It's very interesting how Sasuke's sword can't penetrate Raikage's cloak, but his actual Chidori can. The reason that's strange is because his sword should have a higher AP than his goddamn hand. And when enhanced with lightning style, his sword should be more dangerous than his hand. But as we see in this panel, Sasuke's hand is actually more dangerous than his sword. Very weird. That's just strange to me. How is the sword sharper than the hand, but the hand compares to lightning style? When they're both using lightning style. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. It's cool. I don't mind. We got Grit in the chat. What's good, Grip? All right. Is there any more for this guy named Sasuke? Any more to talk about? Is that all my notes? Nope. Chapter 460. Okay, unless Karibo, you want to give me some stuff from Boruto for Sasuke? Anything you can find in Boruto as far as the manga is concerned? We can look at that. Okay, where we at? How skilled is Ichigo a swordsman or Ichigo versus Sasuke a swordsman? Sasuke could, as soon as he blocks one of the Ichigo strikes, he could Chidori Spear to save his ass. Yeah, no, listen. That's not swordsmanship, though. That's not swordsmanship. Like, Ichigo, before he knew Getsuga Tensho, he was literally beating everyone with his sword and his skills. His reactions, not only speed, but his reactions, as in what he's doing moment to moment, is complemented twice. He's shown to display a great deal of inner tactics, meaning his own unique fighting style as it relates to swordsmanship. He's parrying blades, making people, making their attacks slide off his blade and then attacking immediately after. He's counting how many strikes people do. He's watching positioning. He's looking for changes in distance, all that stuff. And here's the thing. I'm not saying any swordsman that doesn't have these remarks about them aren't good. I'm not even saying that, right? Because Rurouni Kenshin Himura, he doesn't have these things said about him while he's fighting. It's more intuitive. We know Kenshin's body, right? But the thing is this. Kenshin also has actual wins in fights against other swordsmen and other people that use swords on his level of power or higher. Kenshin also has named techniques that he uses to beat those people. Yes, he does. When we get into the technique conversation, oh, Ichigo doesn't have any techniques, therefore he's a worse swordsman. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Listen, your techniques are only as good as your combat skills. Your techniques are only as good as your combat skills. I don't give a fuck if you've perfected throwing a straight punch. Unless you can actually know when to use it in a fight, use it correctly in a fight, and judge the timing and all this other stuff, judge the distance you are, your fucking straight punch is meaningless. It's literally meaningless. And it's very funny because all the people talking about technique, when I asked them, I said, hey, can you name me three sword techniques from Sasuke and then demonstrate when he used those techniques to beat people on his level or higher? No one can do it. So I don't know why we're talking about Sasuke's sword techniques. To our knowledge, he has one style, and that is Uchiha style kenjutsu. I don't know any name techniques, but it wouldn't matter because the conversation isn't does he have techniques? It's no, who has his techniques beat on his level or higher? Because that's all that's important to me, at least. Like when we're talking about better swordsmen, we got to look at, okay, first off, have you beat anyone in your own verse first? Have you did that? Oh, well, Ab-Stract, well, what about Demon Slayer? They only fight demons in their verse. The demons don't even have swords. Well, okay, we can look at it like this. Because the demons fall into the same category as Kenshin. See, I said the demons. The demon slayers fall into the same category as Kenshin. To whereas their techniques carry them, but their techniques also get results. Their techniques have feats. Their styles have feats. We've seen them. We've seen their body of work. Right? We've actually seen it. We've seen Tanjiro's inner tactics. The boy's a fucking genius when it comes to the sword. Yes, he is actually. Tanjiro's actually kind of crazy when it comes to the sword. So this conversation is extremely one-sided in Ichigo's favor. Extremely one-sided. He was trained for 10 days by... Well, first off, let's look at the fact that he was only trained for 10 days. And he was fighting on par with people who've been doing this for hundreds of years. He was only trained 10 days. His growth and acceleration rate is ridiculous. His ability to adapt is ridiculous. His eye for combat, ridiculous. Now, I believe I'm supposed to be looking at a Lunar Ursa conversation. I believe I'm supposed to be checking out one of those. Because I think she said she was talking to Davs. Honestly, there wouldn't be a sword fight because Ichigo would break Sasuke's sword before he truly gets a move off on Ichigo. But even if it landed, he's not going to hurt Ichigo. There you go. Of course, he's not going to be able to hurt him. But I'm just saying, even in a straight up sword fight, and hold up. There was one more panel. No. There was one more panel for Ichigo. Hold up. One more panel for Ichigo. One more panel. Was it 450? Where is it at? Oh, there we go. 477. 477. Okay. So this is the climax of Ichigo versus Ginjo. Mind you, Ichigo knows two damn styles. He can fight with a katana and his goddamn cleaver. What are we talking about? He can fight with his big ass machete cleaver. He can fight with his big ass kitchen knife cleaver or his katana in Bankai and be just fine. So as they're clashing, they bounce back. His sword is up. Ichigo's sword is to the right. Ginjo comes down with a straight slash. Ichigo goes for a thrust. Straight slash versus thrust. Ichigo snaps his blade. Do you know the skill and precision you'd have to snap his blade at the right point to cause it to do this? This isn't just strength. That's precision. You know when Sasuke was using precision to stop the Executioner's blade? Cool, Ichigo got it too. What are we talking about? You've never seen Sasuke do anything on this level. You've never seen Sasuke win a sword fight against people on his level or stronger. So, we've addressed all Ichigo's concerns. But we haven't even addressed my big concern with Sasuke. We haven't even addressed that. Naruto fans, the reason you guys think Sasuke is so cool is because it looks good. It looks good. It looks good. We see this, right? That's about it. It looks good. Uh-oh. Reverse grip. There we go again. Using my hand was caught. Yo, he has to be dumb at this point. Anyways, when I see Sasuke fighting like this, first off, hold up. Let me refresh this real quick. Let me make sure I'm able to hear it. Alright. This is what I hear when Sasuke be doing this shit. Look at this.
The whole thing is a setup. The boy knows. Look at him out there, pretending to be an idiot. He's toying with my mind like a cat with a ball of something.
String?
Yes, playing dumb, taunting me with that rat. Yes, he's consulting with it.
Hold up, here we go, here we go.
I think it's important.
Right.
Exactly.
Is that important?
Of course not. He just wants me to think that it is. Oh, I see the theatricality.
This is Sasuke.
That appears on the boy's first night. I order him to kill it.
Hold up.
Now he wants me to see it everywhere.
Woo! He's over here. He's using the sword. Look at Sasuke. He's flipping.
Is there a phantom rider in the lot?
That is Sasuke. I swear to God. Oh, hold up. Hold up. No. Turn you down. Turn you down. Turn you down. Don't know why y'all got all big on me. Pause.
Now he wants me to see it everywhere.
Oh, it can't play both at the same time? It was playing both at the same time. Anyways, you get the point. That's what Sasuke is. Look, he put the sword in his foot. He kicked it. Oh my God, that's so cool. Oh, look, he's doing all these flips. Oh my gosh, he's so good with a sword. Oh my gosh, yeah. He's theatrics and performance. That's it and that's all.
Ooh, it's here.
Ooh, he's moving over here.
Crazy. Is there a phantom
He's
rider?
tricking y'all. He's tricking y'all. In fact, Sasuke's doing tricks on it. No pause necessary. He is. Look at this. Look at this guy. Oh my God, I twist my sword on my, like, what utility has... So yeah, this is my biggest gripe with Sasuke. Not only has he not demonstrated he's good with his sword as far as like beating people on his skill level or higher, because that's what's going to tell us if you're like even nice. Show us in your own verse you're actually good first. Aside from that though, the theatrics as far as the anime go, because that's what the Naruto community is riding on. But I'll let you use it. I don't mind, because my whole thing is he's only looking good. He's not performing good at all. He hasn't beaten anyone with his sword. He hasn't shown good techniques with his sword. He hasn't shown good battle IQ with his sword. So I'm like confused on how his swordsmanship would be better than Ichigo's. Sasuke, I beat Deidara. A real life Akatsuki, also Sasuke, almost died despite having every possible advantage in hard counter. Would have died without sacrificing Manda. Facts. What's good, John? How you doing, bro? Ichigo versus Genjo is funny because it's an outright skill diff fight. Yeah. Well, actually, no. You're right. It is. Reverse grip of doom and despair. Crazy. Mulan is a better swordsman than Sasuke. I would have to agree. All right. Let me check out Lunar Ursa's conversation real quick. Who's watching Ratatouille? He likes shit. Yeah, no, that's literally what I imagine when Sasuke's doing all those flips. He's over here. Look at me now. Oh, man. Funny stuff. But yeah, so that's what we got up to this week. Or I should say that's what they got up to this week. Wait, not that. Notifications. Where we at? I even asked people, I said, hey, I'm down to have this conversation on VC. Does anyone want to like tell me why Sasuke is a better swordsman? I would love to hear why you think he is. Because it's only going to boil down to two things. The animation and Uchiha style kenjutsu. Those are the only two things you can actually talk about. Because he hasn't beaten anybody. He hasn't shown good sword battle IQ. In fact, he's shown to fight more without his sword than with it when things actually get tough. So that's a strike against him. Against Itachi, he used his sword one time against the Yada mirror. He did only use it one time, by the way. We all saw him use it like twice in the Genjutsu. That's not reality, though. So that doesn't count. I don't even think he used his sword really against Naruto in the fight. Did he use it against Naruto? I don't think he used it against Naruto. The choreography was decided by the manga, not the animation. Listen, let me tell you something. The animation can only go so much off of the manga. The bulk of it is decided by the animation, not the manga. The bulk of it. And let's say I indulge you. It wouldn't matter because it would still all just be theatrics at the end of the day anyway. You think it matters because it's manga? I'm sorry, you think it matters because it's animation and not manga? Karibo, you've completely missed the point if you think it matters that it's animation and not manga. Even if it was animation, every point that I listed would still stand. He doesn't have any solid wins over any credible swordsman in his own verse. He doesn't have any high battle IQ moves with his damn sword in his own verse. He opts to use ninjutsu, genjutsu, kunai, and shuriken over his own sword in his own verse. Ichigo has been praised for his swordsmanship. Ichigo has been praised for his battle IQ with the sword. Ichigo has displayed inner tactics. Go watch some Kengan Ashura if you don't know what that is. Ichigo has displayed precise timing. The only thing that I actually gave Sasuke was, which was the precise timing. Ichigo has that in abundance because he's able to snap a sword mid-strike. You know when Upper 3 was fighting Giyu and he snaps his sword in half with his fist? Yeah, Ichigo does that with an actual sword mid-swing. Same thing. And you could argue Ichigo's is actually harder because he'd actually have to apply much more force to snap it than than Akaza. Lunar Ursa says Sasuke is hard carried by his own baseline competence in general martial arts. He's just a dude who knows how to move his arm at the right time. Also, we don't even account for the fact that the boy uses a Sharingan to fight for the most of the time too. He's a Sharingan merchant too. All right, Lunar Ursa, I think you sent it to me in Discord. Let me check that real quick because I'm eager to review your conversation with Davs. Oh, hold up. What did you say? So this video is ass, and I hope it triggers you into a rant on stream about how chakra can get you physically even with amping to me. To me, Tsunade scales to town level at best with her physical strikes at full potency. Not this country level Biju rivaling knots. We're definitely going to go into a rant. I already know we're going to go into a rant. Anyways, let me check this conversation real quick. This is Reborn. Where's the one with Davs? Yeah, I'm also, honestly, Lunar Ursa, I'm not even interested. Like, I might look at it, but I'm not even interested in the conversation with you and Reborn. He's shown not to be too smart of a person, in my opinion. Sage. Where's where you asked me about it? There we go. Okay, so let's review this conversation real quick. Where does she come in? Oh wait, is this not your conversation, Lunar Ursa? Did you have a different conversation? Oh yeah, let's look at this shit. So he does behind the back hand spin. Let's look at that again. Let me turn down the volume because we don't need the volume for this. Okay, clash, twist, twirl, punch, spin, behind the back. Cool, behind the back again. He's doing all these dances and twirling. Like, listen, if you like that, that's cool. I don't mind. What I'm saying is this. Imagine this, like, would you rather your chef be able to throw your pancake up in the air and twist, throw your omelet and catch it with the other spatula and pan? He can do the egg trick where he juggles eggs and cracks them on the stove, and then your food come out tasting like not Waffle House. Waffle House is actually good. Your food come out tasting like Denny's. Like, You can only perform up to a certain point. At some point, you gotta give us the goods. Sasuke ain't giving us the goods. He looks good. He looks cool. But like, what results does his swordsmanship actually bear? That's the problem with him. He looks good. Except for when he's doing this damn reverse grip shit. That shit is stupid, bro. And the funny thing about the B fight is B poses on him. B actually has a minute. He posed for the camera on his ass. Let me see. I wonder if they included Sasuke fighting the dinosaurs. Nah, they ain't include Sasuke fight. Did y'all know Sasuke fights the dinosaurs? Before we do that, let's do that real quick. Let's do that real quick. Itachi, no? Maybe Twitter wasn't the best place to look for this. Okay. Oh, wait. Nope. Okay. Not going to waste all day looking for that. Anyways, Sasuke bodies some... Like, his best displays of swordsmanship, like winning, is against dinosaurs and samurai. That's embarrassing. Doesn't beat Kinshiki. Even without his sword. Doesn't beat Kinshiki. Doesn't really do anything to Momoshiki. Except with the kunai. Funny how that works. We got Pac-Man in the chat. What's good, Pac? I don't even understand the point, though. The vast majority of these animations don't show anything actually good in regards to swordsmanship, though. And Grid, that's my point. Like, here's my thing. I'm not even mad if people like this shit. I'm not even mad if they like it. I personally don't think it's all that crazy either. The spins and the twirls and the kicks and the whirls. Whoo, he's over here. He's over here. That's what Sasuke is. But it don't matter if he ain't doing nothing, bro. You gotta show us something, B. His sword skill is massively underrated. Alright, let me check my joint. When Luffy struggles with opponents, he's at least struggling with guys with comparable, if not superior, precognition. What's Sasuke's excuse for only being relative to most of his opponents? Come on. He's only relative, number one. He opts to not use the sword when things get tough. Number two, he also has no really. He also doesn't really have any techniques. The one thing that people were saying about Ichigo is, oh well, Ichigo doesn't have any like techniques. But I'll say, well, Ichigo won fights against people on his level or stronger with his sword. What did Sasuke do? And Ichigo did that without techniques. He only used his intuition, his 10 days of training, and his inner tactics. That's literally it. You can't say Ichigo only beat those people because he was stronger than them. He was faster than them. No, he beat Zangetsu. Mind you, Zangetsu said, you have to cut me down to learn Bankai. He beat Zangetsu, someone who was faster and stronger than him. He beat Renji. With Renji, he displayed better skill because he was tracking his attacks and his timing was perfect, according to Renji. I didn't say that. That's according to Renji. Renji said that. Your timing was perfect. That's not Ab-Stract. Against Ikkaku, your skill is almost as good as mine. It's like, I want to call you a rookie, but you're too nice. I want to call you a novice, but you got some skills on you. You know ball. You good. So here's what we gonna do. This is my shit. No, I'm playing. Anyways, yeah. I don't know how people can say these crazy things. What else we got? Check DMs in Discord. I've got you. Utilizes his own fight to dodge out of a surprise attack, but uses a spin to turn that momentum for a counterattack while Ginjo is overextended. There you go. Sasuke versus Meno is kind of tough. Sasuke versus a dinosaur is kind of tough. You heard it here from Karibo first. Yep, Sasuke was taking a velociraptor seriously. Sasuke versus Meno is a good sword fight, according to Karibo, not Ab-Stract. Oh, man. Sasuke versus the dinosaurs is a good sword fight. Sasuke actually wasn't taking Meno seriously. Of course he wasn't. All right, let me check. Is it in... Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hello. Hello. Okay. Beautiful. 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 All right, cool, cool, cool. So, was there... All right. Oh, let me get some water first. First off, this comment is crazy. Ichigo is what people think Sasuke is when they say he isn't a swordsman. That's crazy. First off. What you mean? This is clearly just a guy with a sword. It takes no skill to fight someone with thousands of years of battle experience one-handed while switching grips mid-battle. Listen. Well, you know what? That is one thing we can say as far as like the battle experience. Sure. Ichigo is fighting Soul Reapers that have lived for hundreds of years. We don't really know Kinshiki's background or history, but let's just give it to him off the strength that he's an Otsutsuki. I mean, Kaguya certainly didn't show any like thousands of years of battle experience, but fine. Let's give it to Kinshiki. Byakuya on his own surpasses Kinshiki. In what? Number of attacks? Yeah, that I can agree with, considering he just spams petal-sized blades. Sword skill. Byakuya has actual fighting style mastery with experience to back it up. Kinshiki just throws his weight around. This is how Sasuke fights. Oh, yeah, let's go. I forgot about the Madara thing. He couldn't hit Madara, and he was blind. With Sage Mode, if I'm not mistaken, but still blind. Anyways, Madara dodges, backs up. Is he using reverse grip? No, he is using reverse grip because his hand's right here, and this is the blade swing. This is why you're not hitting Madara, dummy. Your reach is off. He has too much time to react. It's predictable. What's wrong with him? Cool. And he goes for a thrust, only for it to be blocked by Madara. Well, he hits Madara, to his credit, right? He hits him, pierces through him. Cool. This would have been a good time to use lightning style. Dummy. Excuse me. I'm not really mad at Sasuke. I'm mad at the Sasuke riders because they don't know shit, bro. It's not your fault, Sasuke. Like, it is, but it's not. Anyway. Byakuya has used his experience to get further heights and accomplish more. It's aimless. What does Byakuya accomplish with his sword skills? What height could be possible? Well, first off, Byakuya is able to pinpoint the Hakatsui soul chain into soul sleep while mid-flash step. Okay. What does Byakuya accomplish with his sword skills? What height could be possibly greater than the countless civilizations that must have fallen to Kinshiki? What? Alright, first off, embellishing, lying, no evidence, no proof, conjecture. All of that in one. Show me Kinshiki conquering any civilization, number one. Number one. Fall into Kinshiki. You just making things up, Davs? That disappoints me, man. Becoming captain of a bunch of average swordsmen. Laugh my ass off. Tell yourself the truth for once, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That one's kind of funny. But we know it's misinformation because the shinobi battle arts are Zanjutsu, Ho-Ho, Hakudo, and Kido, with Zanjutsu being the most fucking important one because it's literally Zanpakuto basics to be able to fight with a sword. So it's funny because most Soul Reapers are actually like ass. If you're not a captain or a fifth seat at the very least, you are ass. So the comment's funny, but it is just incorrect. What data do we have to... Oh, thank you, goodness. What data do we have to assume that Kinshiki has actually taken down countless civilizations that could give him a challenge? Thank you! Like, here's the thing. When you're going about this conversation, you need to say things like that. Excuse me. You need to say things like that. Give him a challenge. Because then it puts the burden on the person to say, well, He's fought in this guy. Okay, cool. What's his background? What's his credentials? Right? How many times do I have to? Well, no, not have to say this, but someone in 2026 is still hyping that Madara beat the Shinobi Alliance. Someone is still doing that. I just seen it on TikTok, and I said to myself, we do know that is just a group of nameless people, right? We do know that that's like called fodder. They're bullet sponges if this was a video game. They're meat sacks. They're body bags. They are there to make Madara look good. But here's the secret. It only works if the people you're fighting are actually reputable. Which is why Aizen's gauntlet run will remain one of the fucking best in anime. Because the captains have feats. The captains have scaling. They're not no-name faces or faceless people. They're not. So Sasuke beating 1,000 ninja or whoever he fought and not getting a drop of blood on him means nothing to me. Because who are they? What are their credentials? Who trained them? What can they do? Minato beating 1,000 stone shinobi means nothing to me. Not a thing. Ichigo beating 1,000 hollows means nothing to me. Again. Ichigo beating one Ulquiorra means the fucking world. Let me get my charger real quick. So yes, that is a great question. Who has he taken down that would give him a challenge? We don't want to hear about the no-name fodders you fought. We don't care about Johnny What's-His-Face. In order for his skill scaling to have weight, thank you, Lunar Ursa. Yo, I'm so glad she joined Twitter, bro. I think Ichigo takes the fight high diff with pure swordsmanship in equal stats, though. High diff? High diff? Well, if you knew how Otsutsuki gather skill, you'd know they don't train to develop skills. All his displayed weapon prowess are that civilization he has taken. Okay, there must be a light novel, a Retsuden, or some information that I'm not privy to. Let's see if he tells us where this comes from. This isn't a clear cut and dry explanation, though, because you still haven't established whether or not those civilizations had any combat capable civilians. When it's more likely that they just drain planets with basic life on them, not like Earth. I literally have. You're just being difficult. Okay, so he doesn't have any information. He doesn't have anything to substantiate or back up the claim that Kinshiki has soloed planets and taken them down and taken down civilizations. He's just saying things. Okay. Dav's no better than to do this shit with me. I swear to God. But he'll learn. Because, yeah. Excuse me. You didn't establish why those planets... Goddamn. You didn't establish why those planets would have complex life capable of fighting with notable skill, though. I'm not being difficult. She's really not. This is also false. The Otsutsuki can develop their own martial arts through training like any other intelligent being. Yeah, like, wouldn't it be weird for the people that go around conquering planets to not know how to fight? Wouldn't that be like, if they had to learn to fight by every planet they conquered, when they first got there, that would mean that like the civilizations would have kicked their asses first because they don't know how to fight. They don't have any power. No. That wouldn't make sense. That's illogical. Clearly these people train, have their own styles of fighting. Mind you, they started the Byakugan, didn't they? Didn't they originate the Byakugan, which means that the fighting style literally originates with them? Tell me if I'm wrong. They had the Byakugan first, right? Anyways, you didn't establish why those planets would have complex life capable of fighting with notable skill, though. I'm not being difficult. This is also false. The Otsutsuki can develop their own martial arts through training like any other intelligent being. They literally don't, and it has been established Otsutsuki do not train. Okay, so they don't train? Like, okay, I need Lunar Ursa, start asking for panels and references when presented with this kind of stuff. It just wouldn't make sense to me. So, like, that's like saying Toneri didn't train at all. He knew Golden Real. He knew all his attacks when he was born. Like, I don't understand this. He's an Otsutsuki, no? Toneri? He is, right? He didn't train at all? I'm so confused. Okay, she did. Perfect. Do you have a scan of that stating they've never trained to understand or expand their abilities, just download from beings that you have yet to establish as even intelligent, much less combat skilled? Thank you. Yes. So you know nothing about what you're currently arguing. Mamushiki could literally explain this during the tuning examination. Don't stress me, bro. If you don't know, just say you don't know. You're asking for basic shit. Okay, cool. I don't know. So what we're going to do real quick, I just want to find that out real quick. And there's no harm in not knowing. I don't know a lot of shit because I don't read Naruto or Boruto as much as I read Bleach. As well as I do know the series, I don't read it as much as I read those series. Tuning exam, so what we're looking at, chapter 5 or 6? I think 5. Momoshiki, Kinshiki. All right, cool. Boruto, get me behind me quick with the something fell out of the sky. Hey, what's going on? Cool. Hey, what do you think you are? Here's my signs. No, stay back. Gets blown away. Cracks the stadium. Cracks the ground. Yada, yada, yada. Wind Scythe Jutsu. Sakura punches up. What the heck's going on? Okay, cool. Let's look for a Gara. It's dangerous here. Go to the others. Naruto gets kicked in the face. Kinshiki slices at a child. Very crazy, but okay. Hey, that's quite the greeting. It's payback for my horn. Okay, so you attack a child over a horn. Nice. I see. The length isn't to your liking, so you wanted to shorten. That smart mouth of yours, I think I'll silence it forever. Boruto shoots jutsu. It's getting absorbed. Okay. This right here, Shikamaru actually stopping both of them with shadow paralysis. This has been this has been like one of the most annoying things that's happened in this series, because TikTok power scalers use this to say that he can beat Goku because he stops these two, and these two scale above Kaguya, and Kaguya is universal. Therefore, Shikamaru is universal because he can stop them. It's the most annoying shit to hear. I swear to God. Anyways. You've done enough. You can stay still now, whoever you are. I see. He absorbs it. Nice jutsu. I think I like it. Who are you guys? The big guy is Otsutsuki Kinshiki, and the short one is Otsutsuki Momoshiki. We finally decoded that scroll. The gist of what it says. They're after chakra fruit. In other words, the Biju chakra inside you. They seem to know quite a bit. Were they able to read Kaguya's scroll? Let me make sure I'm seeing anything. They plan on making pills from the chakra fruit, something like medicine that can apparently increase power and extend life, right? Then don't drag everyone else into this. Oh, so you need to know about the pills? What a surprise. Well, then you understand how remarkable these are. With these pills, one can instantly, effortlessly, effortlessly and easily acquire true power. You mean you're cowards who rely on doping? That ain't true power at all, right? You're just an inferior creature, and he dopes. Fine. Here, experience it for yourself. When does he talk about Otsutsuki not needing to train, though? When does he talk about that? And like, I'm like, does this even matter, bro? Didn't if the Byakugan starts with them, did they like absorb another civilization and they got the Byakugan Tenketsu chakra points hitting? They got that from them. They didn't develop that themselves. They didn't train for that. It just doesn't really make sense. I'm still gonna look though. How long will you last? Now this shall end it. Sasuke, take care of the kids. All right. Okay. I don't think it's going to happen here. Let's see though. You inferior creatures do like to put up futile resistance, don't you? Okay. You're planning to use your own body as a shield and absorb all the damage yourself. With a foolish, stupid idea appropriate for the inferior creature you are. Yes. Yeah, no. Alright. Is there another tuning exams I don't know about maybe? Let me just make sure. So you know nothing about what you're currently arguing. Mamushiki literally explained this during the tuning exams invasion. We just read that. I didn't see anything. Okay. Who said I know nothing? And why would you, knowing what evidence you are supposed to be using, be necessary in a debate between us? You going to post a scan or should I assume you're lying then? No, I'm going to cite it. Boruto manga tuning exam invasion, specifically Momoshiki's exchange with Naruto concerning the chakra fruit. All right, let's make sure I read everything in there. Let's make sure. His exchange with Naruto. Boruto manga tuning exam invasion, specifically Momoshiki's exchange with Naruto concerning the chakra fruit. Oh, does it happen after this? Because he said tuning exams, but that would be after the tuning exams, wouldn't it? So maybe it happens after this. Let me go chapter forward. Okay. All right. Lunar Ursa says the chapter where you find his evidence is at the bottom when Momoshiki mentions Red Earth. All right, Michael, take it easy. I saw one that said Konohama Ruselo's Goku and his verse. TikTok scaling is unreal. You know, TikTok scaling is actually like dangerous, bro. He mentions Red Earth. Let me see. It might be here. Sucks ridiculously enormous chakra. This is taking too long. Heh, sorry about that. You see, we ninja don't like to make things easy. Well, he couldn't have talked to Naruto. All right, can someone just give me the chapter? This don't make any sense. Unless I skipped it, he doesn't talk about it. It's no, this doesn't make any sense. Unless I skipped it, he doesn't talk about it. Chapter 5? Okay, my fault. Let me go back. Let me go right to when they come. I'll read everything. Or I'll read most things. What the? Something fell out of the sky. Hey, what's going on? Okay. Hey, who the heck is he? Kankuro, yeah. So they stop everything. Civilians, gotta. Cool. It's dangerous here, so go to where the others are, Dad. He gets kicked. Are you okay? Now let's leave together. I'm going to go check over there. Can you take care of her? Sorry that gets saved from Kinshiki. It's payback for my horn. Cool. I read this stuff. Let me see, though. He absorbed it. Damn it. Rinnegan. Sorry, you're mine. Shadow. You've done enough. You can stay still now, whoever you are. I see. I like this jutsu. He's absorbing it into himself. Nice jutsu. I think I like it. Boruto, you okay? What about you? Who are these guys? The big guy is Otsutsuki Kinshiki, and the short one is Otsutsuki Momoshiki. Cool. We finally decoded that skull. The gist of what it says is a warning about the pair's invasion, apparently. Right? They're after chakra fruit. In other words, the biju and chakra inside you. Cool. Hey, I'm the only one you want, right? Then don't drag everyone else into this, okay? They seem to know quite a bit of... Were they able to read Kaguya scroll? They plan on making pills from the chakra fruit, something like medicine. That can apparently increase power and extend life. Oh, so you even know about the pills. What a surprise. Well, then you understand how remarkable these are. With these pills, one can instantly, effortlessly, and easily acquire true power. You mean you're cowards who rely on doping. That ain't true power at all. You're just an inferior creature. Fine. Here, experience it for yourself. Whoa, all the jutsu absorbed from me too. Are we sure I skipped it? What was the evidence? This might all be my fault. I gotta correct it. Are we sure I skipped it? Use my chakra too. If you go down, it's all over. Thanks, Sasuke. How pretentious. Hehehe, how long will you last? Naruto, now, this shall end it. Sasuke, take care of the kids. Are we sure I skipped it? That was it. The evidence was the mention. Come on, Davs. That was it? That was it. The evidence was the mentioning of the pills effortlessly granting boosts. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Boruto manga, Chunin examination, specifically Mamushiki's exchange with Naruto concerning the chakra fruit. You still think I'm lying after this? Then I might bring up the scan just to expose your ignorance. Please bring the scan. I don't have access to that chapter, and even if it does say that what you say, it doesn't mean they don't practice their abilities at all. Nor does it alone support the claim that there are other alien civilizations that could fight on par with Shinobi. Exactly. Exactly. The Otsutsuki not training is an unbacked claim. Using the pills to increase power doesn't equate to them not training. Mind you, again, they have the Byakugan. So they train for that. I don't have access to that chapter either. What do you mean practice? That's not the training in question? What's he talking about then? Okay. By practice, I mean reviewing at least mentally what you're capable of and establishing a game plan with it. In this case, I personally believe that if they do get it downloaded, their execution of their knowledge is unique to how they mentally engage with combat. That's not what you said, though. You said Otsutsuki developed their own combat, and thus Kinshiki's displayed combat doesn't necessarily prove his consumed aliens had combat prowess. You've lost the plot. Let me read that again. He said, you said Otsutsuki developed their own combat, and thus Kinshiki's displayed combat does not necessarily prove his consumed aliens had combat prowess. You've lost the plot. Okay. You're the one that lost the plot. You're trying to intimate lore that doesn't exist from the fact that Kinshiki can fight with martial arts, when it's more likely that their culture developed their own martial arts that they teach even the youngest of their species. That makes much more sense, much more grounded. Also, Davs hasn't provided any evidence, and even when we looked at his evidence, it said nothing about they don't need to train. It said nothing about they can just download information. And I'm not saying they can't. I believe they can through karma, right? But he's not making a strong argument that Kinshiki absorbed all this information from other civilizations and this is 1,000 years or 100 years of battle experience. He's not making that argument. The same reason why Otsutsuki on the moon, there we go. It's like me. Yo, we be right here with it, Lunar. Yeah, we be right here with it. The same reason why Otsutsuki on the moon can do jutsu is the same reason Kinshiki can do it. They developed it along the way. Because just saying they downloaded high-level taijutsu from gradually eating civilizations that we know nothing about, including their existence, is crazy. Bro, all of your arguments are ass genuinely. First, you use Boruto. Now you use Moon Otsutsuki, the one who don't even practice the clan ways, to suggest that they train. Alright, so this is moving the goalposts, because you said the Otsutsuki. That would mean the clan. That would mean the race doesn't train. She brings up the example of the people on the moon who are Otsutsuki who would have had to train to learn their techniques and abilities. You got to pick a fight. You got to pick a struggle. Come on, Davs. Come on, Davs. Like, this was supposed to be entertaining for me. Hold up. Come on. Come on. This was supposed to be highly anticipated for me. You guys were supposed to have a good back and forth. She's whooping your ass. Anyways, next you will tell me that Hagoromo developed ninjutsu, so all Otsutsuki do the same thing. You said Otsutsuki. Like, I'm confused. Like, why are we picking and choosing? Why are we picking and choosing? Maybe don't make such certain statements if you're not sure you know what you're talking about. I'm not even going to say that. I'm not even going to say it like that. Those are the descendants of Hamura. They are about as Otsutsuki as the Hyuga clan on Earth. All they have is the lineage, not the culture or the way of life. All right. So, this is a failing in Dav's not making his comment more specific or nuanced. This is a failing on Dav's, not Lunar Ursa here. His claim was that Otsutsuki do not need to train. Right? But you know what? I guess since his claim is predicated upon them going around to civilizations and absorbing things, I guess we can give him that. But it would still not make sense because they have inherent techniques that they would have to train themselves. So no, the whole thing is still wrong. They would need to train because they have Byakugan. Momoshiki is seen using the gentle fist, basically. So they do train. Where are we at? Well, you're the one who claims they don't train at all, when you literally can't post scans to prove it. It's your word against my memory, and you're losing because you're making claims with holes in them. Nah, that's facts. That's facts. And it's kind of cold in here. Excuse me. Alright, you only need to check the M's. Think we did good versus Davs. Yeah, I do. Actually, I gotta see your full conversation with him, Shinigami. Unless you don't talk as much, but let me see. Is there another conversation that you get involved in? Okay, cool. Here we go. Okay, there's more. Okay, there's more. Let's get this whole thread open real quick. All right, cool. I'm ready to start. Let's do it again. Shit. Okay. Excuse me. Alright, Ichigo's swordsmanship is literally a nothing burger. There's nothing to discuss. Sasuke being able to keep up with a veteran wielding 8 swords at once unironically trumps everything Ichigo has done with his oversized knife. Okay. So, Sasuke being able to keep up with someone... So, first off, let's do this real quick. The number of swords you're using doesn't make you better or worse, right? It's still about the user. Hence why when Zoro uses 3 swords and Mihawk uses a knife, it doesn't matter that Zoro has 3 fucking swords. All that matters is the skill gap that lies between them. So no, we're not going to do this. B had 8 swords and Sasuke had 1. If Sasuke was better with his 1 sword than B was his individual 8 at one time, Sasuke would have been the one over top of B. Pause. I gotta stop doing that shit. Anyways. Sasuke would have been victorious if he was better, if he was more skilled. You don't get, like, I'm tired of this shit. You don't get brownie points for just fucking surviving, bro. You don't get brownie points for that. This is the same shit we talk about with Naruto durability. Oh, well, he survived the attack. You don't get brownie points. You still got fucked up. You You don't get brownie points for just surviving. You don't get brownie points for doing fucking good. We need wins. That's all we count. That's all we count over here. We don't care about anything else. You ain't putting up points on the board. You ain't moving the needle. You ain't part of the conversation. He did good against B's 8 swords. Okay. Ichigo did good against Byakuya's 1 million blades. Ichigo did good against a 3-part pole that breaks apart that he had no knowledge of until it actually hit him. How about that? What else has Ichigo fought? Ichigo did good against Noitora's long-ass crescent moon sword. How about that? Ichigo did good against Kenpachi's unorthodox fighting style. How about that? Do we just want to give brownie points for doing good? He said Ichigo's swordsmanship is a nothing burger. That doesn't even make sense. See, this tells me he hasn't actually analyzed Ichigo's his battles at all. At all. Because the things that I went over with Ichigo, even if they weren't mentioned by name, if they were just done, we could see it in the fight. Remember when I said you can't teach the inner tactics when Ichigo jumps off of Ikkaku's scabbard and goes for a slash upside down? You can't teach that shit. Nor does Sasuke have anything like it. When Ichigo gets his Zanpakuto grabbed by Kenpachi, pulled in and stabbed at, and he opts to kick Kenpachi's, like, you know what Sasuke would have did in that moment? Sasuke would have let go of his goddamn sword. You know why? Because Sasuke is more comfortable fighting without the goddamn thing. That's the difference. When the going gets tough for Ichigo, he keeps his sword in his hand. When Uchiha put a goddamn Seto through his chest, he kept his sword in his hand. I'm sorry, when he put his hand in his chest, he kept his sword in his hand. Uchiha's like, why won't you drop your sword? Because I still think I can beat you with my sword. That's why. Sasuke can't say that. He can't say that. Ichigo's swordsmanship is a nothing burger. Ichigo has shown to be more adaptable. He's shown to pay more attention to spacing, distance, timing. Everything that goes into being a good fighter and a good swordsman. You'll need all those things to be a good fighter and a good swordsman. Sasuke is shown to beat people way lower than his level. Not on his level or higher. Way lower than his level with a sword. Now, if we want to have a different conversation, like, okay, well, is Sasuke a better fighter than Ichigo? I'd still say no, but at least you at least have an argument there. You don't have an argument with this swordsman shit. You don't have a leg to stand on with the guy who uses ninjutsu more than his sword. You don't have a leg to stand on. I don't even know how you can have this conversation with me. When given the opportunity, he will use everything but his damn sword. What are we talking about? The best thing he did with his sword against Deidara was use it as a footstool. The best thing he did with his sword against Itachi was try and hit the Yada mirror. What are we talking about? When he goes for an attack on Raikage and his sword bounces off, oh, guess I can't use my sword anymore. Chidori. Guess I got to use the Chidori. The sword's out of the question. I can't do it. Let me use what works. Let me go back to being a ninja, not a swordsman, a ninja. That's what I'm taught. That's what I'm bred. But you want to be out here fighting dinosaurs, getting cool points. You want to be out here fighting samurai that are clearly weaker than you, getting cool points. Not on my watch, buddy. We ain't doing that over here. Anyways, he got bodied when he fought B, like neg diff. And the fuck you mean and? He lost. Neg diff. What does losing have to do with displayed skill? Let's see. What does losing have to do with displayed skill? Well, when we're building a data set and it appears that you only win against people weaker than you, losing to people on your level or higher does mean something. It means a lot. It means you ain't that. What does it mean? What does it have to do with displayed skill? He doesn't really have any skill. The best thing he showed in the Killer Bee fight was the precision to point his sword inside the Executioner's blade sword. But that's not even B's fault because B doesn't use the executioner's blade. That's not even B's sword. So it's not even an anti-feat to Killer B. So it's really not even a feat for Sasuke if I'm being honest with you, because that's not B's blade. He doesn't fight with that. It's not his style, right? 8-sword style Killer B. That's what he uses. And we saw what happened when you fought that style. We know what happened. So skill and losing have to do a lot when we have data sets, right? Because we can go over everything. And I've did this like probably 4 times already. We can literally go over all his fights with the sword. He'll either abandon the damn thing or he'll lose it somehow. Oh, I hit Raikage one time. My sword bounced off them. I better not go get it because it's useless now. Oh, well, Deidara has mines. Well, I can't use my sword anymore. He's flying. Let me throw it at the ground to find a mine. Oh, well, I'm fighting Itachi. Well, let me use my sword in real life this time because every time he used the sword was in a genjutsu, so it wasn't real. Let me use my sword in real life at the end of the fight because shit, why not? I'm out of chakra. All I have is my sword. Terrible. Not over here. Oh, I'm fighting Kinshiki. Let me twirl around and spin. Let me use a reverse fucking grip. Even though it limits me in range, even though it limits me in power, let me use a reverse grip. And he wonders why he has the problems he has fighting people. He wonders why he can't get a win with a sword. He doesn't know how to use the damn thing. And then we're not even going to talk about how he's probably hard carried by the Sharingan. What are we talking about? In context, it matters how you lost and why. Not that you lost. I'll grant you that. Facts. Sasuke was using his Sharingan to keep up with B, and he still got overwhelmed the same way anyone else would have, just a lot later on due to using his Sharingan. You can't use the Sharingan to keep up with anything, only track it visually. If I can track it, is that not me visually keeping up with it? I'm so confused at this. I'm so confused at the wording of this. And this is always the disconnect between, VC versus text. Because he could probably clear this up in a sentence or two. But in my head, like, listen, if a bullet is fired and I can track the bullet and I can follow it, but I can't move, I'm still keeping up with the bullet. Like, I'm visually keeping up with it. Me moving is a different thing, but here's the thing. Sasuke actually has the ability to move and react to Killer Bee's strikes. So he is actually keeping up. He is. You can't use the Sharingan to keep up with anything, only track it visually. Okay. Keeping up takes actual fluid movement. Sasuke does have the fluid movement. He just got styled on because B was unpredictable. It wasn't really about Killer B being so much faster than Sasuke, so much more powerful than Sasuke. It was more so about B's unorthodox fighting style, his unpredictability. His unorthodox fighting style and his unpredictability. Also, Sasuke never fought a swordsman like that. Playing, bro. He would have tracked the movements, but wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. This is well established. This is a well established mechanic, by the way. All right, I disagree with that. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Let's go back. Because we're not going to play games. We're not going to play games here. Okay. He couldn't keep up. Let me make sure I have Dav's argument right. Because I tell you guys, I read these things 2 to 3 times to make sure I'm not making a mistake. Let me read that again. You can't use the Sharingan to keep up with anything. Only track it visually. Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me. Keeping up takes actual fluid movement. Keeping up takes actual fluid movement. If he did not have that, he would have tracked the movement fine. If he did not have that, he would have tracked the movement fine, but wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. So here, keeping up takes fluid movement. If he didn't have it, he would have tracked the movement fine. Okay, cool. So B takes out his 8 swords, Sasuke's ready. He reacts. These are all blocks. These are sword interactions. These are clashes here. So he is keeping up. And I can't really tell if he has a Sharingan on. I would assume he does, though. I would assume he does. We don't actually get to see him activate Sharingan because he's not using Sharingan in any of these points here. We only know he's using it right. We only know for sure he's using it right here unless I can see in this panel. Let me see. I can't really tell. We'll say yes, though. We'll say yes. So, yeah. What's fucking Sasuke up in this fight is really B's unpredictability. He can't track all these swords at the same time. His attention is split in focus. He doesn't know what B's going to do next also. Now, here's the thing about this fight. Put in the same situation, I'm not going to say Ichigo would have beaten Killer B. I would not say that. What I would say is, though, that Ichigo, from the manga, from what we know in the manga and how Ichigo fights with a sword, Ichigo has better attributes and factors that would allow him to win this fight. I'm not saying he's going to beat B, right? That's neither here nor there. Personally, I do think he would beat B if he was using a katana. I don't know about the cleaver, but if he's using a katana, I think he actually might be able to beat B. That's just my opinion. But what I'm saying is, based off of all the things we've seen Ichigo do, based on his adaptability, his attention to range, his attention to timing, his inner tactics, right? In moments where they're clashing, Ichigo might do some fly shit, like actually parry an attack and go for a counterattack. Sasuke's not doing any counterattacks in these. He's not. He's being pressed. He's being pressured, pushed back. That's how the fight went with them. He was pressured and pushed back because he didn't know how to handle this. Now, let's do a scenario like this. Sasuke gets pressured, pushed back. Cool. Right? He gets stabbed. He gets hit. Now, Sasuke's first thing is, okay, shit. He's way better than me with the sword. Let me go for my Chidori. Ichigo would have said, okay, cool. He's using 8 swords. This is what I noticed when I was fighting him. This is what I saw when I was fighting him. This is what happened during our last exchange. How can we adapt? How can I use how he's fighting to help me beat him? That's exactly what he did with Ikkaku. That's exactly what he did with Renji. He observed their attacks, saw where he could get in at, positioned himself in the right moment, and then capitalized. You cannot say that for Sasuke. Anyone saying Ichigo is a worse swordsman than this guy doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm being dead ass serious. You cannot read both series, see how Ichigo handles situations fighting swords or swordsmen, or even people without swords, even like people like Grimjaw who use just straight up hands. You can't look at how they both approach situations and say, oh yeah, Sasuke is a better swordsman. You can't, you literally cannot do that. You would have to be influenced by the manga. You would have to be. Because so far in his manga, he hasn't displayed anything. Sasuke is. In his manga, he has not displayed anything on the level of Ichigo. Anyways, cool. So you don't think the ability to track and forecast your opponent's moves would enable you to keep up with them, assuming you had the stats for it? Because it's timing and prediction that helped Sasuke against Naruto in part 1. True. Facts. True facts. Where was I? Wait, whoa. Did I start a new one? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, I just went down. No, okay, wait. The question was, so you don't think the ability to track and forecast your opponent's moves would enable you to keep up with them, assuming you had the stats? Okay. His response is no. I do not. Not in quick succession like that. That takes skill. Okay, so wait. I have the ability to forecast and predict your moves. I have the ability to forecast and predict your moves. You don't think that would enable me to keep up with you, assuming we had equal stats? No, I do not. Not in quick succession like that. That takes skill. All right. Like the way he be answering questions. This is what I really don't be liking about Davs' approach to debates? The answer is actually yes. And then you give your fucking qualifier. The answer is yes. I do believe you being able to predict and forecast my moves would help you keep up with me. That's what you would say. The answer is yes. But not in quick succession like that, and then you go on to expand why you think that. No, I don't think... No, Ab-Stract. I don't think the Almighty helps me predict and keep up with your moves. No, Ab-Stract. I don't think Future Sight helps me predict and keep up with your moves. No, Ab-Stract. I don't think the Sharingan... Are we serious right now? We're being serious right now. The Sharingan doesn't help do that. Just because it's quick succession doesn't take it off the table that it's a benefit, an asset in the fight that's going to enable you to keep up, forecast, and predict your opponent's movements. And we gave equal stats? What are we talking about? Anyways, Lunar Ursa says, I mean, I can agree to some level of motor skill being required to fight at all, but I do think that such an ability would make blocking and dodging exponentially easier to do, making up for a skill gap in return. Facts. I do think it makes blocking and dodging an attack easier. Okay, so you do agree with so like, here's the thing, bro. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I don't like. I swear to God, guys, the pool to pull from on X conversations is really small because most of these people aren't smart anyway. Dabs is one of the few I can't have a conversation with, but it'd be shit like this that'd be pissing me off with him, bro. It'd be like, so you did agree. Let's make sure we're not making a mistake. So you don't think the ability to track and forecast your opponent's moves would enable you to keep up. Keep up with them, assuming you had equal stats. He says no. In what world would you not, like, in what world, like, are you saying it's a disadvantage that I can do that? I don't understand it. How would that not enable me to keep up with you if we have equal stats? No, I do not. Not in quick succession like that. Quick succession, no one asked you about quick succession. We asked you, I'm sorry, I keep saying we, because I feel like I... Oh, man. No one asked you that, bro. Stop adding qualifiers that don't exist. Answer the damn question like a man, and then go into your qualifier. It's very simple. I do think that such an ability would make blocking and dodging exponentially easier to do. So if you think blocking and dodging, which he does agree to, I do think it makes blocking and dodging in an attack easier. A series of consecutive attacks? No. Okay, cool. So you agree with Lunar Ursa when she said forecasting the opponent's moves would help, assuming you had equal stats. You agree with that. What you disagree with is that when it comes to attacks like Byakuya's Senbonzakura Kagayoshi, an attack from all corners at one time, quick succession, you don't think it'll help with that. Cool. That's something totally different than the initial question, though. Something totally different. Anyways, I think I went down. A series of consecutive attacks? No. Okay, but you did agree with her. I disagree. If I can see how they'll move after every motion their body goes through, dodging a combo is the same as dodging a single strike if you're paying attention. Hold up. What the... okay. A series of consecutive attacks? No. Okay. I'll say this for that. Because the Sharingan is only precog and not actually seeing into the future, it does mean, even though you're having predictions, anything can happen. So there's that. There are things that the Sharingan cannot account for, things it hasn't seen before, right? So if I can see how they'll move after every motion their body goes through, dodging a combo attack is the same as dodging a single strike if you're paying attention. So yes, for me, that's a yes and no. It would solely depend on if the person is doing thing within the realm of possibility that the Sharingan can actually, track and predict. For example, when Naruto was fighting Sasuke and Naruto first launches his chakra claw, Sasuke didn't see that coming because the Sharingan nor the Sharingan nor him had any idea that could even happen. So if Killer B were to sprout a fucking tentacle inside the middle of his combo, the Sharingan ain't doing shit to help him with that. He's getting hit by that because it's a surprise attack that he had no idea was coming, that his Sharingan didn't factor in, right? But if we were just keeping it to base level things, just swords and hands, I agree with Lunar Ursa, yeah. And how do you pay attention to 8 swords and a whole body? This isn't about dodging punches and kicks. So you're saying the feat you're bringing up in Sasuke's favor is itself out of Sasuke's league. Yeah, he expressly admitted that. He said keeping up. He didn't say overwhelming B. He didn't say beating B. He didn't say anything on the lines of dominating B. He said keeping up. And that's even being generous, because do we really want to say he kept up? Do we really want to say that? No. He lasted a few exchanges. I don't know if that's keeping up, though. Anyways. Okay, wait. Where were we at? Okay. So you're saying the feat you're So you're saying the feat you're bringing up in Sasuke's favor is itself out of Sasuke's league. No, I'm saying the hacks you are proposing to downplay the feat barely counts. It counts more than not having it. It's an extra advantage Suigetsu and Jugo didn't have. And mind you, they're slower than B. Sasuke's not that much. If Sasuke is slower, he's not that much slower than B. Sasuke didn't lose because B outsped him. Also, it goes without saying that B was beyond Sasuke at that time. Was he, though, or was he just more skilled with the blade, hence why Sasuke immediately went to using a Chidori blade? Also, it goes without saying that B was beyond Sasuke at that time. The point is, even as a 15-year-old, at the least of his capabilities, he still has feats to speak of. Ichigo, on the other hand, what feat? What's the feat? You do not get brownie points for participating, bro. You don't get brownie points for that. Oh, he has the feat of fighting with Killer B. He didn't really do shit. What's the feat? And I'll say this. You know what? No, I won't say that. I'll hold off on that. Where are we at? Okay. The fact that this whole discussion has been a scrutiny of Sasuke's feat speaks volumes. The other guy barely has anything to discuss. When this gets posted, someone can tag Davs. Alright, where are we at? Untrue. I believe just because Ichigo's Shikai swordplay is initially basic looking, I don't think the style of swordplay translates exactly to skill. Keep in mind, he uses a sword against all his opponents over anything else, while they have unorthodox moves in combat. Grimjow. Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing, right? Being a better, like when we talk about being a better swordsman, that's why I went into technique versus like efficiency, practicality, and performance and theatrics versus what you've actually shown to be able to do and accomplish. I wouldn't give two shits if Ichigo was fencer ordinaire. That comes from what's that one anime? Shadow something? No. Eminence in Shadow. Fencer ordinaire. I would not give two shits if Ichigo was the most basic sword fighter you've ever seen. As long as he was beating everyone he came across, weaker than him, on his level or higher, I would say he's the better swordsman. As long as he was displaying the things that he was doing in the fights with Ikkaku, Renji, Zangetsu, and Kenpachi, I would say he's the better swordsman. He has more factors, he has more attributes, he accounts for more, he looks at more, he's been trained by better people. Who the fuck trained Sasuke to use a reverse grip? Answer me that, because Orochimaru doesn't fight like that. Who trained him? Is he self-taught? Is he an autodidact? Did he make it up? Does he know it's impractical? Has he gotten away with it for this long because he's been only fighting bums? Has no one checked him on his reverse grip style and said, "Hey, bro, you must have been sparring with some lightweights. Let me show you how we do it over here, kendo style." Reverse grip. This fucking guy. This guy. I can't. Alright. Untrue. I believe just because Ichigo swordsman Shikai swordplay is initially basic looking, I don't think His style of swordplay translates exactly as skill. Keep in mind, he uses his sword against all of his opponents over anything else, while they have unorthodox moves in combat. Grim job. So name any point where Ichigo movement with the sword is shown to be fluid or impressive. So name any point where Ichigo's movement with a sword is shown to be fluid or impressive. Ichigo versus Ginjo. And listen, that's a funny point. Fluid or impressive. Fluid or impressive? Why would that need to be the qualifier for swords? Like, what are we trying to answer here? Fluid or impressive? Show me anyone Sasuke has beaten with his fluid or impressive swordplay. Because at the end of the day, if we're not talking about who's actually better, what are we talking about? Are we just talking about like sword competitions? Who can cut enough bricks in half with a sword? Who can do enough twirls with a sword? Fluidness, movement. Do you care about looking good or actually winning the fight? Like, what matters more to you? Looking good, the person who looks good, or wins the fight? The chef that can flip the egg and do the flip with the pancake, he can catch the tortilla on a spatula, spin it around, but it comes out tasting like yesterday's home-cooked meal? Or the 5-star restaurant who's not going to do none of that shit and blow your fucking socks off with his great dish? It's two different levels, two different things. Okay, Byakuya's sword is 1,000 tiny blades. Ichigo blocks all of them with his Bankai, demonstrating his ability to strike and block from any angle. As he was being attacked from different angles, I will say fluidity and movement equal in combat skill, though. Or don't equal combat skill, though. I really don't know what this means. I might be the only person who doesn't know what this means. Anyways, yeah, that doesn't suggest fluid movement. Matter of fact, the actual page and scene shows him swatting them by swinging in all directions. You will say, and you would just be wrong. Okay, yeah. Yes, fluidity in combat is universally denoted as a sign of higher skill. Fluid movement prioritizes energy efficiency, momentum conservation, and real-time adaptability, allowing a practitioner to transition seamlessly between attacking and defending without unnecessary pauses. Okay, so fluidity. So when Sasuke's, again, the theatrics and the performance stuff. So when he's twirling his sword around and all this other stuff, he's doing the Obi-Wan and Anakin, right? Sword behind the back, sword behind the head, over the legs, between the legs, up, down, across. Sure, he's displaying fluid movement. It looks good. It looks cool. I'll give it to you. But the main questions still need to be answered. We're not getting out of who has he beaten on his level or stronger or higher. We're not getting out of what are the things he actually shows to consider in a fight, or without it being said, considers in a fight. We're not getting out of that stuff. Google AI doesn't prove you're right, dumbass. You clearly are using it for confirmation bias. You think because ninja can do flips with their swords that they're more skilled than samurai who have fought in thousands of battles and shit. That's your problem, bro. Yes, it is. That's exactly his problem. As opposed to taking your word for it, the ninja who can do flip with their swords have also fought numerous battles. That's your own problem. Like, see, it's the framing. It's the framing. I wouldn't use... All right, let me see where this shit shifted. Because with Davs, you got to keep this nigga to a certain conversation. You can't let him say anything and go off the fucking rails. Let me go over... So, yeah, no. So, Davs is down on the Kinshiki shit. He definitely couldn't improve Kinshiki solo civilizations by himself, and that the Otsutsuki don't train. Definitely couldn't prove that. Ichigo's swordsmanship is literally a nothing burger. There's literally nothing to discuss. Sasuke being able to keep up. So, okay, cool. Yeah. So he's arguing keeping up is a better feat than anything Ichigo's done. What does losing have to do with displayed skill? So now we have to ask, what skill has he displayed? Like, we should have kept it there, like on the skill aspect. And I'm surprised, like, Shinigami wasn't really involved in this conversation too much. But yes, okay. All right, fluidity and stuff. You're the one using choreography alone to claim Sasuke should take this. That's far too simplistic of a view of combat. Both characters have fought countless fights, but Ichigo is an actual swordsman, whereas Sasuke is a broad weapon specialist. True. In my opinion, at least. I'm not going to say that's subjective fact, but that is my opinion. Sasuke is, like... there is a reason he'll just opt not to use the damn sword, then use it the entire fight. He's not a swordsman. It might be how he starts off every interaction. And I think Il said something about this, and I agree with him. He said, Sasuke using his sword is essentially a test for the person he's fighting. He's like, okay, cool. Can you even get past me using a sword? If you can get past me using a sword, I'll start to rely on ninjutsu, genjutsu, shurikenjutsu, techniques outside of swords. I'm not using choreography alone. I'm using everything. I'm using everything. And when they both have everything, but only Sasuke has good choreography, then logically Sasuke edges out. Oh. Sasuke edges out with good choreography, but he has no wins with his sword using good choreography. He has no displays. He has no displays aside from the B thing with precision. Unless you want to count the doing tricks on it with his foot. But that's theatrics. Because it served no utility. He didn't need to do it. And it served no utility. It did nothing. That's not logical. The way you fight visually, and even to use Star Wars as an example. The complex choreography itself, those aren't direct relations of skill because that's fighting style. Plus a hard look at what he's doing makes it impractical to flip like that. Or use a reverse fucking grip. Impractical for who? Because the guy is literally doing it and it's working. Yeah, it's not working though. That's the thing. It's not working. It's working on dinosaurs and samurai. It didn't work on B. Didn't work on Deidara. Didn't work on Itachi. Didn't work on Kinshiki. Didn't work on Momoshiki. You do not get brownie points for staying in the fight. You do not get brownie points for surviving. We only count wins over here. Trophies. Rings. Sasuke has none with his sword. Yet he's better than Ichigo, somehow. Because he does tricks on it. For Sasuke, logistically, doing things he does puts you at a disadvantage. Though I assert that it's the Sharingan in him timing his movements that make it possible. Like IRL, you don't do spins and shit when fighting. When sword fighting, it gets you killed. Yeah. No person is ever who's going to over the head, behind the back, turn around, do a flip? Who's going to leave themselves exposed like that? Well, Davs did make a case to use reverse grip, and I had to research sword moves and found out why it isn't practical. Then why do they use it in Star Wars? We could probably go into Star Wars. They probably have a better reason though, honestly. First off, like I said, it's not an actual sword. It's a lightsaber. That makes it fundamentally different. Secondly, they're taught to deflect blaster bolts. I think Star Killer is the only person that uses a single sword reverse grip. I think, Star Killer, and then even Star Killer dual wields his reverse grip and turns it into, he uses two styles of lightsaber combat, at least when he's fighting. So even his isn't solely reverse grip. I think in the panels we've looked at, we saw Sasuke do reverse grip or an actual ordinary attack one time. Okay. Whataboutism, but it's also impractical there too. But they use it though, don't they? What do you think impractical means? It's literally stated in Star Wars to be an ability that has the same flaws IRL as it does in the story. They just make it work the same way Sasuke does, with speed damping and precognition to attack ages before their opponents understand their angle of attack. That's true. In Star Wars, they're constantly using the Force to know where attacks, to know where blaster bolts are going to be, to know where lightsaber strikes are going to be, and then just timing their blades to get there in time to block. Give me 1 second, y'all. What in the fuck? Hold up. Give me a second. Excuse me. All right. So it's impractical in these fictional stories. Yes, or it should be. All right. No, there's middle ground between practical and impractical. Viable, I'd say, but not necessarily practical. What do you define as practical? Practical. I want to see if I can give it a definition before I actually see one. Used in its most efficient way or the way that makes the most sense is probably what I would go for. What do you define as practical? Okay. Something that is completely practical is flawless in its application in reality. Things can be flawed in application but still viable and not completely impractical, which would be things that only work in your head. Okay. I said practical. I didn't specify any degree. Try again, but drop the completely part. Okay. And I'm guessing that was the end of it. Unless there's another thread section that I don't know about. Good conversation, though. Overall, good conversation. I'm really not a fan of how Daz, like, the way he discourses, I'm really not a fan of it. It's very annoying, very tedious. Give me a second, y'all. I gotta use the bathroom, actually. Be right back. What the fuck is that? Okay, yeah, good conversation. Really not a fan of that man's discourse. Very annoying. Not really fun to argue with, as far as that goes. Take it easy, Shinigami. We got Valeria in the chat. Was good. Bro, Ichigo would mop B. Laugh my ass off. Ichigo predicted and counted Byakuya's Bankai shreds in the Soul Reaper arc. Ichigo also was able to flawlessly block Byakuya's flash step attack, too. Yeah. Ichigo has a lot of good moments with his sword. I don't know why people don't just be honest. Ichigo can handle 1,000 blades at once with the katana. 8 is fine. So, but that one's more due to that one is more due to stats, I'll say, right? You would need the stats to deal with the 1,000 petals at one time. Being a good swordsman wouldn't help with that. You would necessarily need the stats. Ichigo is hands down winning this. He constantly evolves during a fight. He analyzes and adapts to his opponent's attacks. Exactly. See, and like, I didn't even go over the Gin stuff. I didn't go over the Ulquiorra stuff. I didn't go over anything for Grimmjow at all. This was just the shit I could find while I got home and started taking care of what I had to take care of and doing my research. True, she got forced Uchiha to use the Almighty during their second, when they were sword fighting, by the way. Yeah, facts. The point of Zoro versus Hachi fight was that number and weight of swords do not make the better swordsman, but this probably aren't transferable between verses. Like, No, bro. Like Doc, I think the theme is actually accurate. I think that's completely transferable between verses. 8 swords does not make you better than the person with 1 sword. 2 swords don't make you better than the person with 1 sword at all. Sasuke got immediately overwhelmed by Killer Bee, even with his Sharingan activated. What are these Naruto fanboys talking about? You'd have to ask them. They're the only ones that say this crazy shit. Okay, so Killer Shogun. Shout out to Killer Shogun. About time he responded, though. So, Killer Shogun says, as a Bleach fan, why the fuck can't they accept Sasuke is a better swordsman than Ichigo? I ask him, what are things that make someone good? What are things that make someone a good swordsman to you? Because at this point, it's clear that we all have different criteria. You guys heard me go over mine tonight. I really don't care about fluidity. I don't really care about tricks. I don't really care about flips and twirls. I care about how effective your combat is with a sword. I care about if you care about things that actually go into sword fighting and sword play, distance, range, adaptability, the type of weapon they're using, the type of weapon you're using, footing, where you're at. I care about those type of things. I really could care less if you have techniques, movement, or any of that shit. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. But when we're just talking about sword play, no. The more important things are you adaptable? Have you displayed inner tactics? That being your own unique way of fighting that comes by way of you being in a difficult situation. Just your lived experience, basically. He says having a sword style, techniques, great movement with blade, etc. So these are the things that makes him a good swordsman to you. Okay. So let's do this. Let's stick to Shippuden right now, then we can move on to Boruto. Alright. So, Killer Shogun says, to my question, which is, what makes a good swordsman to you? He says, having a sword style, techniques, and great movement with blades. Completely different from the shit that I said makes you a good swordsman, but that's absolutely fine. I think I can still win with these parameters anyway, honestly. Because what I'll have to get him to do is drop most of this shit. We're going to have to come to a different consensus. Because if we keep it to Shippuden, Sasuke has no confirmed sword style that I know of. And even if he has a style, as I said before, style and technique is only as good as you are as a fighter. You can practice your front punch 1,000 fucking times, but if you don't know when to use it in a fight, if you don't have situational awareness, it's not going to be effective. Cool. Techniques, which I kind of just did with style. So anyways, great movement with the blade. Great movement with the blade. Is he are you talking about doing tricks on it? And then how would that make you a good swordsman though? What about that makes you a good swordsman? Movement with the blade, doing tricks on it, or just your sword play and stabs and stuff like that? But okay, anyways. So, let's stick to Shippuden for now, then move to Boruto. What is Sasuke's sword style? And can you name 3 techniques that defeated opponents on his level of skill or higher? Lastly, he says great movement with the blade. Okay, yeah. By movement, Do you mean... Okay. Yeah. Took him about how many hours to respond? I probably won't hear from him till like tomorrow, to be honest. But that's completely fine too. Okay. Didn't get to work on my presentation today, but that's absolutely fine. There's always tomorrow. Where we at with it? Oh yeah, speaking of One Piece, because I wanted to get on One Piece too. So when we talk about a swordsman like Zoro, just to give him his flowers real quick, right? Zoro has beaten plenty of swordsmen. Plenty. But Zoro doesn't have any manga statements or comments about his, like, how he thinks when he's fighting. Like when we saw Ichigo, oh, he did 2 attacks. There's one more left. Let me type my attack here. When we saw Ichigo, oh, he closed in on me to negate my reach. Zoro doesn't have none of that shit. Yet he is a great swordsman. Because Zoro has techniques that have actually beaten people or wounded people on his level or higher, like Daz Bones, like Kaido, like the Cloud guy that was using the from Skypiea, right? He has techniques, he has styles, and he has actual attacks that have defeated people. He has feats. With his basic sword attacks, he's able to cut Pika. Feats. What does Sasuke have to compete on that level? What does Ichigo have to compete on that level? Nothing in terms of like slicing feats, right? In my opinion, because when you consider how Zoro's doing it versus Ichigo, Zoro, I don't think he used Haki on Pika. He might have used Haki, but I don't know for sure. But what I'm getting at is when you boil it down, Sasuke is the one with the least amount of everything. Unless you're literally just looking at the fact that he does tricks on it, then I don't know what you could be factoring in to come out your face and say he's a better swordsman than Ichigo, or any character in Bleach for that matter. That goes from Komamura to Mayuri. Better swordsman? No. Better fighter? Depending on who you're talking about, but even that's a debate for me. Better fighter? No. Kribo says a good fighter uses everything. A good swords. Okay. So Karibo said it's something interesting. I like that. He said a good fighter uses everything. A good swordsman never lets go of their blade. Oh, yeah. A good swordsman never lets go of their blade, seeing it as an arm. A great swordsman will trade an arm for a kill. Ooh, that's deep. That's fire. Now, Karibo, you do know your man Sasuke does not abide by any of that shit, right? He'll lose his blade. He'll discard his blade. And if he was about to lose his hand, he would let go of his goddamn blade before his hand got cut off. When Ichigo was about to get stabbed in the face by Kenpachi, he didn't let go of his sword. No, he didn't. He held onto his sword and adapted really quickly, like on the fly type shit, actually. But that was fly. I fuck with it. Blue Mutants. Hey, Blue, what's good, bro? It's been a while. Where you been at? They're a ninja, so I expected them to be doing flips. Samurais like the Shinigami don't be doing that. True. And listen, it's not a, like, listen, here's my thing too, right? It's not a problem that they're doing flips and tricks necessarily. It's that when you say this makes them a better swordsman, yet they have no wins. They have no accomplishments. They have no feats. That's the problem. They have no feats, wins or accomplishments. Or at least Sasuke doesn't, right? B has his win over Sasuke. Makes his stock go up. Sasuke has no feats or wins or accomplishments with his sword. He'd rather get rid of it. He'd rather opt to fight without it. If it's him or the sword, he's choosing him every day. If it's Sasuke's sword or Sasuke's Chidori, he's going with the Chidori. If it's Sasuke's sword or Amaterasu, he'll keep the Amaterasu. You can argue it's actually even shuriken over Sasuke's sword because that's what he used in Itachi's fight the entire time. Dangai Ichigo showed his sword stance against Aizen. Yeah. Ichigo is also better than Rangiku, who did not need a sword to beat other swordsmen. Who did Rangiku beat? Oh, Izuru, I think you mean? Sasuke basically just has a long kunai. Yeah, facts. Facts. He just basically has a long kunai. That's how he literally treats his... Excuse me. That's how he treats his sword like 10 times out of 10. As a huge fucking kunai. Is Trunks a better swordsman? I really wouldn't know. Trunks is so enhanced, number one. I don't know who trained him, number two. Number three, I don't know Trunks' wins. I can't say if he's a better swordsman. If you take away all Trunks' ki, put him into the Naruto verse and have him fight Sasuke, I don't know which one of those bums would win. I know if either one of them go against Ichigo, though, I can argue for why Ichigo would win. I can actually argue it in the manga, fact by fact, point by point, and say, look, Ichigo showing blocking, parrying, and then doing a counterattack. All in the same panel, or all in like 2 frames, whatever. I can show you that. I can show you Ichigo adapting to attacks he's never seen before, on the fly, while using a sword. That goes into his battle IQ with the sword, by the way. I can show you that. I can show you that Ichigo understands range and distance and timing when fighting. I can actually show you these things. I did about an hour ago. I can't show you that with Sasuke. Can't show you that with Trunks. And then back to the point. I can't show you that with Zoro, but we understand Zoro's fucking body. And I keep saying this. We understand Zoro's body, right? Zoro has sword-cutting feats. He has techniques. His techniques have feats. He has styles. His styles have feats. So Zoro's body of work speaks for itself. Zoro doesn't need all the things Ichigo needs, just like Ichigo doesn't need all the things Zoro needs. But when you don't have none of that shit, and we're saying, oh, well, he did good against Killer B. I'm sorry, what? What'd you say to me? He what? Oh, well, he was keeping up with B. We're talking about people who actually beat people on their level of skill or higher. Keeping up. Excuse me? Keeping up. I can keep up in a 5K race. Do I expect brownie points for that? No. Do I expect to be praised for keeping up in a 12K? No. You don't get points for keeping up. I don't know what y'all think this is. We get points over here. Trophies. Rings. You don't get points for keeping up. Ukiyoda was watching Ichigo and Ukiyoda was confused of why he still doesn't let go of his blade. Exactly. In 2003, General Grievous let go of a saber in his 1v4. That does not make General Grievous lesser than Ichigo. No. So the thing is this. General Grievous, when he did it, and I know the exact moment you're talking about. I love the Star Wars Clone Wars animated series. And the one that came out in like 2007. I love that. Probably my... It can't be my favorite because the actual Clone Wars is my favorite now. But when that shit came out, it was all I could watch. Grievous did that tactically, though. That's the thing. It doesn't make him lesser than Ichigo because Grievous did it tactically. And even Grievous has multiple feats of killing multiple Jedi, hence why he has multiple lightsabers, right? Lightsabers. Trunks only shows targeting knowledge. He has less lethality. He has lethality and that's it. Okay. Looking DMs on Discord, not sure if you noticed it. I will check it out, bro, after this. I'm about to actually get off. Leave Trunks alone, I was trolling. Would Meliodas versus Ichigo in a sword fighting be a better match? Meliodas would be better than Sasuke, yeah. Trunks wouldn't even beat himself in a sword fight. LOL, carried by Sharingan. Yeah, Meliodas just from his history and the fact that we've actually seen him win with his sword, Meliodas can fight with his goddamn sword in his mouth, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to rewatch some of Seven Deadly Sins, but yeah, he's clearing Sasuke's ass all day. But all right, it is 9:30, y'all. I do got to get to bed. Work at 4. Ig, I saw you said whenever I'm ready. Oh, give me some time, bro, because I'm working on this presentation still. And my time is just very all over the place. Like, even this was like somewhat of an impromptu live. Like, I know I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't really, like, you know, plan this for today at least. But all right, ladies and beautiful gentlemen. Wouldn't anyone else? Oh, wait. It means that Trunks would go 50-50 against himself. W stream. Appreciate it, Kino. Wouldn't anyone else? Wouldn't anyone else? No, not anyone else. No, you still need to do some shit, actually. You can't just, like, not anyone else. No, I wouldn't say that. All-time MNK. I just got here with W. Hey, I appreciate it, bro. Sasuke drops his primary blade in moments to extend his hand with Chidori to surprise an enemy. Sasuke is wartime survivor. Yeah, see, but that's the thing. Like, Sasuke will always be more of a ninja than a swordsman. And that's okay, bro. That's okay. That's cool. Like what you just said he did. You said Sasuke drops his primary blade in moments to extend his hand with Chidori to surprise an enemy. That's cool. That's not swordsmanship, though. That's not swordsmanship. It's not. And that doesn't go to his swordsmanship skill. It's diversion. It's like he uses the sword as a secondary option. Even though it's his primary means of engagement, it's still a secondary option. Because like I said, when the going gets tough, when things get too hard, when he can't bear the pain, when the straw's about to break the camel's back, he will use everything but that damn sword. Not for the reasons Trunks would. He has no defense against sword combat. So it's first come, first serve. Thank you for the stream, Ab-Stract. Hey, I appreciate you, Valkyria. LOL, bro. LOL, bro. Hand his arm. Oh, and his arm was cut off. And his head on his severed arm was still holding his sword. Yeah, no, that's crazy. He dropped his sword in the lava in the Kaguya dimension. Is that what happened to that sword? That's crazy, bro. People look down on swordplay like swordsmen don't have weapons in their offhand. I mean, some of them do, yeah. Like, take when Kinpachi was fighting Unohana, yeah, she carried some knives with her. We're not going to discredit her, though. She's still a top-rated swordsman. Anyways, let me get out of here, guys. My wife is actually almost home, so I actually have to make some food. All right. We out. Appreciate you guys for pulling up.